Hello and welcome back. Ooh, Max,
Oh,
where's your camera,
I am.
Max?
Where's my camera gone? I don't know, man. I'm supposed to be there, but I am not there. Um, I'm in place. My thing's turned on as it's supposed to be. So there
There
you
we
go.
go.
I am back. I am back. Hey guys, I know I missed you guys. I know you missed me. I know it's the same way. But yeah, man, and we're gonna be ready for the big day today,
Yeah.
DK. We got some big things ahead now.
Yeah. Today is, of course, day 3, the day that the teams have been aiming for to get themselves up to the top of that overall standings. And of course, the overall standings are looking pretty tough so far. And of course, speaking of which, let's jump straight into that to see where we have the teams at the current moment. Of course, looking at that, we see the footballers sitting up there very comfortable on 115 points. Of course, that is quite the spot to be in. Of course, we also see the players then from Team Unique just trailing behind by 20 points. So that already makes things pretty
Hmm.
close. I
Look,
mean,
I'm gonna give you a second chance here,
hmm,
DK. You said footballist. You don't say it that way. How do you say it? Can you just remind me real quick how you say it?
footballist.
Footballist. There you go. That's how you say it. There you go. Yeah, it's fine. You're learning. It takes years to get to that level. You'll get there
Yeah,
eventually. But yeah, a banger performance coming out from Footballist. 3 wins coming their way. But when you check out their points, you know right away that most of the points come out from those 3 wins. So there is a chance that they could be taken down. They can bleed. That means that they are indeed a team capable of being killed. Teams that could try and kill them today is Team Unique. But the one big team we got to talk about before actually getting into the games here. We don't have too much time. We've got like 50 seconds, so we got to rush it up. Is Guns a 20 kill chicken dinner yesterday on the last game of Miramar allowed them to jump from 11th position up in third, contesting for that number 1 spot at the end of today. Only 4 more games remaining to crown our champions here for the Ometal Pro League tournament. We're gonna see how things are going to be coming on through. But today, okay, we got 2 Sandhawks, which are not going to be really fun for the team. So we'll have to check out our schedule for today because this is not a very enjoyable one for the players.
yeah, it is going to be quite the hairy day. No, in fact, today we have 2 Erangles up going through the
What?
Sanoks. Yes, day 3, Erangle, Sanok, Miramar, Erangle.
That doesn't make sense. Okay, you know what? I'm not going to go Team Death. I'm happy it is not double Sandhawk. I thought that was going to be it because of how the matches were scheduled on day 1, day 2, but I was wrong. So that's okay. We'll check how things are going to be coming on through. But you know what? The plane is now going to be high in the sky. So I propose here, DK, that we jump right into the action for not a Sandhawk game then, surprisingly enough. But no, it's going to be an Erangel game here for our first game of day 3, aka the last day of the Ometal Pro League here today to crown our champions, but also our MVP and also our top team manager, which don't see too many prizes for the top managers of the teams. So I'm pretty hyped to see who that might be at the end of the broadcast.
Yeah. And while we wait for everything just to load up on this side, of course, this is the prize pool that they are playing for. As you mentioned, the top spot taking the $900, second coming in with 600, third on 300. And then, of course, the MVP and the manager both being rewarded there for their spot. And it seems like there's a little bit of an issue on my end with this feed going live.
Oh,
Doesn't want to
are we
update
already in
just
game?
yet.
The players already dropping and stuff. They're going ham. I can try and radio broadcast if something's going on, but yeah, you can see on the screen that's money. And as you guys all probably know, money is in fact good. And if you get money, you might be very happy. So I propose that you try your best to try and get a few buckaroos up your sleeve to try and buy yourself the McLaren skin. I would not recommend it because I've got very unlucky, but you never know. If you want to give it a shot, why the hell not? Though, as I said, I'm going to radio cast a little bit about what's currently happening in the start of this game. So, Isirangel, it was a very southern plane path from west over to the eastern coastal line. So, a lot of teams currently are rushing towards the more northern edge of the map. There we go. We can see it on screen. But a lot of teams going to be shifting up. And because of this very unusual plane path here, DK, that means we could have a few little hot dropperinos happening on screen, especially where Panda, NASR Esports, or even Godsent are currently positioned. And with that circle 2, that is meaning that we might have a few big clashes and teams getting eliminated very early on in this first game.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be quite interesting to see exactly what the teams are going to be doing with the zone so far over towards that eastern side. But we've got a nice concentration of teams in that central section of the map. Between Georgia, Poland, of course, that kind of Sosnovka line that we can draw there. So it's going to be interesting to see definitely how the teams are going to try and rotate up, especially from that western side, seeing that there's so much space up in that northeastern region. I'm curious to see if anyone's going to try and move in there.
There's a chance. Typically, especially that's where Destiny likes to play, and I think we've already seen them rotate towards the southeastern edge of George Pole. So I think their intention is to go straight for that position. They did get contested in Severny in the past, especially back on day 2. That was yesterday. So it could happen once more this time around, but I think it might just be a little bit more laid back, a little bit more chill for Destiny, and have an easier encounter in the early game. Other than that, not too much happening. 63 players, so we might have lost already one player. Didn't have time to see the kill feed when we were focused on the minimap. That happens from time to time, so no worries whatsoever. As Team Unique, they're going to be playing towards mill to power. Position that I like quite a fair, decent bit when it comes down to looting is not heavily contested. Typically, if there's a team that drops mill to power, mill to power, should I say, or mini mill to, it's very rarely going to be contested because the team that drops there typically is very well known. So Team Unique should be chilling. They should be having a very early, chill and early, laid back early stage of the game, I would say here, DK.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to see, what the teams are going to bring on in. And of course, yeah, the feed is just not liking me today.
I like that little circle. That little circle's got is meta, I think that circle's got some good rotations. Continuously going from north to east to south to west, and hence and repeat. So I find that pretty interesting. A pretty interesting approach of how the game of PUBG Mobile is currently played. But also, we can talk about skins maybe. Very nice skin coming out from mine. My favorite color is indeed pink, so I'm pretty happy to see mine from Team Unique. Wrecking the pink gang. Enjoy it, appreciate it. Thank you very much. Also, talking about the gangs, you got the Panda Gang with some Panda hats, which is some of the best branding I've seen in PUBG Mobile skin usage in a very, very long time. So for that alone, kudos to Panda. They deserve some big one-ups for the branding being on point.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see, as you said, of course, the branding coming on through, and the lovely, lovely world of technology, making it so easy, so nice, when we've got all these lovely things happening. I mean, this is just what happens with the internet. Yeah,
but that's Sundays fine. You know what? Hey, while it's happening like that, we're having a few little issues. Once again, apologies for this kind of issues. We can't do too much with that, unfortunately, ladies and gents. So hopefully you guys can stick around with us until we get ourselves done. Fate is actually the only team that spawned in as a 3-man crew, so which means we didn't lose anyone. We didn't miss any early kills happening. Fate just spawned into it as Ragnarok, Sawi, and also Lath. So that is going to be the roster we're going to deal with for Fate. Though, and I'm going to ask you a question here because we don't really have too much happening, and we can't see too much because it keeps on buffering, apparently. It's because of the playing path being very southern and a more eastern kind of phase 1 circle that did show its top of its head toward mill to power location. What would be, in your mind, one of the easiest rotations to get into the circle? There are many ways to do it, but if you were one of these teams, how would you rotate in the circle to be 100% safe and laid back getting into the circle?
Probably around Stolber, up towards the north. Take that wide rotation along the coastline, maybe wrap around Stolber and try and push through that angle.
I think that. Yeah, I was exactly going to say that. That was what I was hoping for you to say. If you didn't say, I was going to be wrong. And a bit like, no, you're right. It's a pretty good one, especially Destiny. That's a rotation that they did a lot back in the PMPL Western Europe. So they're going to be pretty happy about having the opportunity to pull off a very similar rotation that's rewarded them so many times back and back and back again with really strong performances. So I think Destiny, if they did fully pull off that rotation towards Severny, which I think they have by now, they could be pretty damn golden. And same for Panda. I mean, I know Panda. I've casted these guys. Well, not casted. I was an analyst, but I covered these guys back in the PMPL Western Europe, and Rozhok is their go-to drop location. So they're not going to have an issue whatsoever. It's not quite in the circle, but it's very nearby. And Rozhok is really well known, I would say, DK, for good car spawns. You get your buggies, you get your Ruaz, you get everything you need, and you can really easily kick that rotation into gear. So yeah, I'm not really looking too scared for all of these teams. And even Water Wonders, I mean, they're in Circle Phase 1, so they have literally no worries to think about.
Yeah. I mean, so far, it looks pretty comfortable up in Yasnaya. We don't see anyone in the vicinity, so I'm really looking to see when that second, third phase comes in, as that zone starts shifting up, exactly where the teams are going to try and move towards, because it is an eastern zone. And I have to say, I kind of like it, though, because it pushes the teams up on towards that coastline and forces their hand, depending on where they go, of course.
Exactly, could be a little bit of an issue. Don't think a little bit what's coming on through. Wait, is this a new logo for... Ooh. Did they get picked up? Did Godson get picked up by an org? Who? What is that? That's interesting. I need to do some research into that, actually. I'm going to ask some questions. I was like, wait, that's Godsend. Why? I for a second was like, who the hell is this team? And I saw Vito and everyone like, okay. Their logo changed. The team tag changed. So I guess they left Godsend and joined another org. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. So I'm intrigued to know exactly which org it is to pick them up. Because I have the impression I've seen that logo a long, long time ago. I don't know. Do you know anything about that, DK? Or...
No, I haven't seen anything. I've been casting all day, so yeah, I don't know.
Well, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry for you, man. You're too busy, all right? You're too busy. I get it. It's cool. Hey, man, better busy than not, right?
Yeah.
Especially with these current situations in the world, better to get something to do. Cypher's going to try and run back towards that buggy. Tigsy, didn't spot him out, though, actually. Just one pixel moving in the grass and didn't quite see. He's gone iron sight, too. And Tigsy, and that's not going to be an easy kill to get. And I think he's hearing the buggy now, moving away. No, he still has no idea.
Yeah.
Still
every time there's an opportunity, it's exactly when, well,
just look the other way.
Yeah. I mean, welcome to the world of PUBG. I mean, all these things, they happen so regularly. Every time, like, from the caster's point of view, you can see the action. You're like, come on, how can you miss that? But, you know, as a player, things just happen. You just sometimes miss those pixels.
Yeah, it happens to the best of us. That's okay. I mean, I say that. I got myself an iPad, and I can't even see players moving around me sometimes. So I have no right to complain about players like Tigsy not being able to see that pixel out of place. But you know what? That's okay. Happens. Once again, to the best of us. There's still no kills coming into this one. Despite, and I mentioned this, because of the playing path, I thought we were going to have some very early teams and even potentially squad wipes coming on through. Didn't happen. Shouldn't it, over the course of this tournament, especially since day one, there's been a very clear improvement pattern coming away of these teams. So I'm pretty stoked to see that actually coming on through. As NSR trying to move away from apartments, got all those cars, apartments, and school pretty good when it comes to those car spawns. And Miracle is going to be the one leading the way forward towards Potato Hill. So yeah, I mean, this is the time where we'd love to see the minimap to see what rotations are coming on through, but they're not going to give it to us today. They're making us needy for the minimap. I would love to know, but you know what? Not today. Not today, DK. It's not meant to be.
Well, it's going to be interesting to watch the players here from 12-18 especially. You know, they've already been able to pick up a chicken dinner. And they've been showing a strong consistency with regards to their placement points, right? Also, a slight bit of aggression, bringing in a decent amount over the games that have been played so far, over the previous 4 games, or 8 games, in fact. Now, I'm curious to see what they're going to bring today. So far, nothing just yet, but there could be a few potential opportunities, of course, for those skills to come through towards them. And also, players here from Next Roya, they've also been showing a really good balance between placement points and kills.
Yeah, 35 placements and 35 kills. That is why we call a perfect balance. I think that Thanos is very fond of, if you guys will watch that one. But yeah, Roya currently in 7th position. They're looking pretty good. They clearly have a chance to maybe secure himself a top 3 spot, but it might get a little bit harder for them as time goes on. Now we're going to be checking out the circle. We're about to shift and transition into good old sexy phase 2. I do believe he's going to centralize and go more center, and it does not actually. It goes towards Milta power area, even Mini Milta. That is not a very fun shift to play with, because teams like Sudor now have to move away from that position. And you know there's going to be a lot of gatekeeping potentially happening to some of the compounds, especially over to the west. Talking about west here, DK, that's going to be Na'Vi taking a fight versus Fate, but Fate, that's a 3-man, so that's not easy, but they make it 3v3 now as they take Matic down instantly.
Yeah, and that was a beautiful rush coming in right there. Na'Vi quickly reacting to the shots, finding their way up towards them. But of course, now Rico Infinity looking to come in with a 3rd party. But Na'Vi is going to say, no, we'll get them before you even get anywhere close to us. But now here we go. Rico Infinity getting ready to move into that position. We saw those shots coming through from Hero. Of course, now, they find that in. Ragnar steps up with his DP 28. Ripping into the side there of Na'Vi.
This is a really good play coming out from Rico Infinity. Reason why, they heard the shots, they wanted to go for a 3rd party, they are hungry for kills. They need kills, they need a lot of points to try and catch up in the standings, and they instantly found the opportunity to get a high ground position above Na'Vi that was still hurting after that fight with Fate, and capitalize on the opportunity for the 3rd party. That was a good execution and really good timing coming out from them, but now they gave too much breathing space here, DK, to Na'Vi as they get pushed, but still able to respond in big ways.
And I'm really liking the play that we see come in here. Of course, you know, the teams coming in from the Arabia region, they seem to be a little bit flustered. But so far today, just on what we're seeing now, Rico Infinity seem to be handling themselves fairly well. I'm curious to see how that will go through the rest of the games and whether it's just in this one or a mindset change that has come in.
Also, I mean, one big change you can mention is the fact that Kitsune has been brought in for Na'Vi, which is typically the sub for the team. I haven't seen too much of Kitsune, so I can't really speak too much about his capabilities in the game of PUBG Mobile. But you know what? Seemed like that some good amount of success at the very start. Meku just got himself confirmed away. So that's going to be 2 players down. There's no old boy, so that is typically the IGL. So I'm not sure who's going to be IGLing this game around. Might be Tixie, which is typically the more aggressive player for the team of Na'Vi. That is just pure speculation. We'll have to ask the players or the managers for more enticing details. Rico? Oh, okay. Trying to get himself a little bit of a wider spread. I like that potential rotation with the buggy from one of the players. Wants to get access to Cube Compound. Hader's going to be the one going there if he gets access to the 2nd story building in that kind of compound. Tixie and Kitsune here, DK, cannot move away. They are pinned down so well by Rico Infinity.
Yeah, and of course now, as we jump up in towards the players here from Guns and what we know as the team from Godsend. This is going to be an interesting engagement to see these 2 teams go head-to-head. Of course, there's not a lot currently separating the 2 teams. As we've seen the beautiful play coming in from Guns in just the last match yesterday, just stepping it up, coming out of almost nowhere. That absolutely beautiful play.
Little one-taps coming out with a DP28 from RZ. Do we call them Q? I feel bad calling them Godsend now, but you might go with something like Q. Kitsune and Tiggsy going to get pushed up. Q-Tail wants to try and close that gap and inch his way forward even more by the second, by the meter. Hugo, that's going to be the one-on-one. Kitsune, though, the backup is going to be joining the party. Q-Tail to play so well around that tree. Picks up 1, but he will get knocked down right after by Tixie. He's not going to thirst it. He wants to go for the rest. We've got to be careful here because DK, he's giving the information over to the rest of Rico Infinity, and that might just cause his demise.
Yeah, and of course, Hader just hanging back on that far side. It could be a really good angle for them, but of course, now Tixie just moving just out of harm's way. Of course, looking to pull off the rest on Kitsune, but now, fortunately for them, this is only the 2nd phase. So the blue zone is not doing that much damage. So they still have an opportunity to pull through and maybe make a good play from that angle. As you can see there now, just getting those razors in, those heals.
I'm not gonna lie, I have no idea how the 2 other players of Rico Infinity died, Harrow and Ragnar. They were still alive, and I guess it happened when we were focused on Q. Oh, they're really good shots there. Hader just got tapped really well by Kitsune. 1 tap's coming on through, really strong with the Mini 14. They're not going to confirm the kill just yet, but because he's going to die to the blue, that is still going to be a kill coming their way. And I guess though the kills came their way, they got 5. Now it's going to be 6 kills for Na'Vi. They got themselves 3 kills off of that last fight. So that means they basically 2v4'd. Kitsune and also Tiggsy 2v4'd in that fight. That is a nutty showcase coming out from them. You know what? We'll see as now the circle is going to be shifting very soon. We'll see if it's going to be a hard shift or not. But if it keeps on going towards Ometal Power, this is not going to be an enjoyable game here, GK. It is not fun. It's not fun to play around.
Well, yeah, definitely not fun to play around. But I'm expecting the teams moving into the region to really play the compounds. And it's going to make for an interesting finish. It is kind of a city finish, but it could also potentially move on to that shoreline. And it does exactly that. This is going to be a tough one.
Sulke right into position. The rest of footballers, the 3-man's Lutz, Rom, and Lovazin straight up north toward the eastern side of prison. So that rotation shouldn't be too hard. I mean, they all got himself a car, so they might lose one along the way by a sneaky few shots of Destiny. But other than that, we should be good. And DK, to give you a lot of respect on what you mentioned earlier about that rotation towards Stolber, that's a very similar rotation that came out from Destiny, from Saverni position up north, and they got himself the best position in this circle right now in Ometal Power itself. So, seem like DK, you do be speaking facts from time to time. Good job, man.
I try. Sometimes, you know, it's like... Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of your job, yeah.
Yeah.
You better.
Oh, love how that camera just came flying into this position here where we see the players, of course, from Unique now taking occupation of the building. But, of course, Vito and Co just off in the distance there, applying that extra little bit of potential pressure. But, of course, the Guns also holding the angle. The footballers moving up into Malta.
No, that's not how you do it. No. It's footballist. That's how you do it.
Footballist. There we go.
I can ask Mustache Dave to give you a few little little lessons on how to do it properly. But yeah, I like it. Team Unique, they saw guns coming from behind. They're like, hey, we don't want to have a recap and a replay of what happened yesterday on Miramar, so we shall give you the compound. It is yours. It is okay. So I like that kind of respect from Unique, especially because they had a split, so they could very easily make up for team pushing their direction and try and just collapse back in one compound where they have priority, which in this case is the one where they currently stand. I think that was a really good idea coming out from the boys. Because now things are going to get a little bit more spicy, I would say, because this circle here has still a few compounds, but it means that now every circle shift, you're going to see teams dying. So this is going to get more intense by the minute, DK.
Yeah, and of course, that is what we hope to see. We hope to see the teams really being challenged on this final day. This, of course, being just the first match. So quite a bit can come from this, of course. Now, Destiny just perched up above the players here from Kanina. They've gone up against them in the previous 2 days, but now Gonzo steps up, picks up Mihi in the process, finding those shots. Great play coming in, but now the rest of Destiny starting to circle around, applying the pressure onto the side here of Gonzo. It is a pretty isolated position to see the Kanina power play in here.
Yeah, I mean, Gonzo now has Machine in his name, apparently. I don't know why, but Gonzo, regardless, he's going to be in that spot. The smokes are definitely going to be alerting the few players of Destiny around him, well, the 3 players of Destiny around him, and he's going to be very predictable in how he's going to play. They know they got himself one position where he'd like to hide. Beast is going to go for the pre-fire shots because I mean, where else are you going to hide, Gonzo? Exactly, nowhere else. That is such a hard position to hold on to in a 1v3. There's no way you can win it, or very rarely you'll win it. And Destiny played it really well. They pushed from 2 positions at the same time with 180-degree coverage. There's no escape, and that is going to be it for Kanina Power in that fight.
Yeah, and of course, I just saw in the chat that, yeah, they got signed by Conqueror.
Oh, Conqueror.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's... Wait, was the Conqueror logo always like that? Okay. Thank you. Unpredictable also in the YouTube chat for saying it. I didn't think their logo was like that. Okay, fair enough. Conqueror it is. I was going to call them Q, but hey, why? So, wait, they're called Conqueror, and their logo is a Q, but the first letter is a C. Why? Riddle me that. Why? Me no understand, man.
Yeah.
Oh, it's still cool. Conqueror is a pretty big org when it comes to PUBG Mobile. I hate... What are these... Bro, what are these circles right now? Can we just calm down? Can we just... For a second... Okay, Football is in a good position though. They have priority. They can very easily facilitate that rotation. But Destiny, being the slithering boys that they are, they're easily going to be trying to snatch a strong position for themselves as they were the first team to rotate. But Panda are going to be closing it up also very shortly behind them.
And this is going to be an interesting one. I mean, moving into this 4th phase, we still have 15 teams alive. So many of them still left to fight it out across the map here. Of course, we've got 49 players now. Panda pushing further up in towards that multi-power position. But of course, Nexuria holding on to the edge of that western zone. Looking to find a little bit of pressure onto the side there of the players from Suda. But of course, it is going to be a pretty tricky rotation rather for these teams to find a good position in the zone.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I got like a bunch of DMs on Discord. Now people send me, it's Conqueror. I'm like, hey, I appreciate you guys. You know what? I am a pretty slow kind of guy, so I appreciate all the assistance on that end, guys. Mucho appreciado. Though there's going to be the fight currently happening, is going to be the remaining 2 players from Na'Vi going to be trying to take that fight. There's a Slime 4KT, but Tiggsy, I think it's fair to say here, DK, he is not in a comfortable position, and they're just going to be trying to slither their way forward towards Na'Vi. Aimer from Slime 4KT, he's going to be taking that mini 1v1 versus Tiggsy himself, and one of the best fraggers in the CIS region, and he's going to be able to win that 1v1 fight. Pronto's going to try and join it up, but Slime 4KT, you got to be careful to not give one-on-one every single time. You have the man advantage, make use of it. And that is why I want to see them push as a team rather than going 1-by-1, because now Tiggsy has priority, he has the advantage point, and he's nading it up on the likes of Pronto.
Yep, and of course, Storm feeling the pressure up in the top here, going up against Kitsune. It is a really difficult spot to be in. Yes. But of course, Kitsune steps on up, picks up the knock. Now it is up to Pronto to make the final stand for the 4KT team. And of course, now, Na'Vi not wasting a single moment. Just stepping up and clutching it away.
Man, they just took a 2v4 earlier and technically won it, and now they took themselves a 2v3 versus Slime 4KT. Might have been a 2v4 at the very start, and they win it again. Diggsy and Kitsune, I mean, I talked about it, Kitsune being the sub for the team, and yet performing at this level with one of the best fraggers of the CIS region is nutty to see. It's an Avenger level threat combo. The analyst, that Avenger level threat combo is Vito's Molly, apparently, as he's going to be taking a big fat L on his forehead. As it goes in the music of Shrek, apparently. Pretty good movie. You should check it out if you haven't already. But everyone's going to try and move their way forward. The circle did shift heavily up north. A lot of that water's been taken out as Team Unique get eliminated in 11th position. And wait. What? Where was that nade? Who was that? Who was that nade from? Was it a self nade? I had the impression there was a self nade for a second, but we got some weird utility coming out right now. But footballists from their compound, from their strong position, are nading everyone down. But they have yet to rotate because they want to leave all the other teams die. But the team that survive, if they got a lot of players on their team, that could slow down that rotation from footballists. So I'm at the same time enjoying it, also not really enjoying it.
Ooh, oh, wow. That was hot. Wow. Next, we are stepping straight up with the shots. Of course, ending the match there for the players from Conqueror. Now, we look to see what the footballers are going to be doing. Of course, we can see Lazio now just stepping away, looking to pick up the confirm on towards near heart there, reducing the numbers for Next Ria by 1. Of course, fortunately, there's a little bit of distance. It's not the easiest now, of course. Lats finds that shot, confirms the kill, and now looks to move up. Footballers now being brought up all the way on to 8 kills. Of course, now next Ria looking to make their own play, but also still looking to find an angle back up into zone.
Yeah, next Ria was frozen, and Suda into this one. He's going to try their very best to... Yeah, sneaky rotation. I mean, they're the furthest team away from the circle, so it is definitely going to be a big run for their money. We'll see if they can try and pull it off in the nick of time. Although this is still the compound of footballist, I think very clearly here is going to be the main focal point of this game. Smoke's going to come in on through. That's a smoke road from footballist. They want to try and cross that road on over towards that McLaren exposition position. I don't know how you call that building. Mr. McLaren building. That's what I can tell you right now. And they're going to smoke it up, trying to negate all that vision away from Canina Power to facilitate that rotation. I like how footballists are playing it. And they got their very own McLaren too. They're ready to breach the McLaren building with a McLaren. That's on top branding right there. You love to see it.
Yeah. I mean, how else would you do it? Come riding in with a buggy? Yes!
Oh, wow! What? What? Guns? You must calm down right now. Yeah, Lord. That you don't get away from that one, Lord. Get out of here. Shit, that is.
Whoa.
Oh, that's the push.
Ooh, come on. Oh, come on, Accident now. Trying to push in, trying to pick it up. Oh,
yes.
Finds the hit, closes it up, and of course, another point on the board. But 12-18 rather. Now just trying to hold on to the center position in that zone. Of course, we see the players here from Panda just hugging the edge of that coastline. Destiny just up ahead, also pushing pretty hard to get back in. But this is going to be a really tough zone. There's almost no hard cover, just a slight hill.
Yeah, I mean, Destiny here could have been in this position, but 12-18 were having a little bit more circle look on their side, so they just hold on to that one for the time being. That is, but Destiny, with their continuous pressure coming from their side, they're going to try and eat their way forward meter by meter, and hopefully get himself in a good spot. But Footballist is still trying to res up as a full crew back in that McLaren building and get ready to full send it, because they're going to need every single player here, DK, very clearly, if they want to try and move out 12-18 from this focal position. There you go. Footballist back up as a 4-man. They got himself buggies. They got himself a few Darcias. Potentially even the McLaren still is ready to go. I can see it in the smoke right there. It's shining. It's looking glorious as ever before. A few sneaky pot shots. That one little concrete high ground position is clearly giving such good coverage to Zakonivor. And with that third-person perspective being taken into account, he can just scout without never being threatened, because there's literally no teams down south of their location. So now for them, full focus is on the northern side to make sure no teams push into the circle.
Oh man, and of course the shots are gonna just fly so beautifully from 12-18, looking to pick up as much carnage as they can, looking to cause as much carnage as they can. But of course now Tulika looking to push a little bit further up into the north. The damage has been done, but now Tulika is looking to close that one up. The Utils getting sent over, unfortunately going into the wrong smoke pile, but now Solke sneaking in behind Destiny. Spots Mozero, finds the hit. There we go. Nashi now just up ahead. Beast also trying to make the play. The McLaren's pushing further forward as Lutz now comes rushing in. Beast gets picked up, and Noshi just lying in wait, waiting for the moment to strike, but of course, gets taken out. Footballers grabbing it.
It's the McLaren push, baby. That's how you do it. That's what you love to see it coming on through. Footballisto already up to 14 kills here, DK. An absolute shred of a game coming their way. But Footballists got to try and hold on strong. Once again, they want to try and res up, heal up from their wounds, and get prepared for another assault on this game. Man, I did not think so. We might see 2 days back-to-back, a double win with chicken dinners. Well, sorry, what am I saying? I'm getting lost because I'm so confused. A win with 20 kill game. There is a chance. There's a world where they could potentially try and make this happen once more. If I did my math properly, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They got 14 kills. No, it's only 19. Close enough. It's still pretty good. As that's going to be Evo Station picking himself the first knocker right onto Raum. That's going to be a non-easy race to get. But he is still on that little bit of a ridge line, and he still potentially have some utility. So there is a chance that they can get Raum back in the game. The main issue here, DK, the circle is closing up, so Footballists have no option than to force their way forward, and that is not going to be a happy chappy 12-18 that's going to be allowing you to make your way in.
Yeah, and of course, now they're going to be looking to pick up the damage on towards the players here for Footballists. Solke gets knocked out as Evo Station and goes step up. Tulika finds the hits. Oh, wow. Down they go. Now, of course, it is Panda up against the side of 12-18. The Molly's coming through.
Oh, nice Molly.
This is where the lobby heats up. And of course, now Saifan looking to close it up, looking to find the header. Oh, Evo Station gets taken down. Now Lin and Saifan making such an aggressive push. Down they go. What?
Yeah, nice try at the end, but 12-18 had too strong of a position here, very clearly, DK, and they take himself a banger of a game for themselves. 13 kills to their name, double digits, and plus the chicken dinner to get himself a total of 28 point arenas right in their back pocket, and they are going to be really happy about that game in general, because before this game, if you look at their overall rankings before this one, they were in 4th position with 78 points. Unfortunately for them, Footballists got another bang of a game. 3rd position was also an insane amount of kills coming their way. That's actually 14 kills plus the 3rd position. So they are up to 24 points. So not enough to overtake the likes of Footballist, but just enough to actually overtake the likes of Guns and even potentially Team Unique. We'll have to see once the overall rankings are updated. But this is the game 12-18 needed to make sure they can very easily and comfortably catch up to the likes of Footballist in the next 3 games to come.
Well, that was a super impressive play coming in. I mean, I'm so impressed with what we saw happening there. It's, man.
Yeah, Tulika was amazing in that finishing moment. I want to jump in to say that real quick. He had the balls, and I rarely say that, but he had the balls to push his way forward and keep on snaking his way towards the northern side, very close to Footballists, and he was on the lower side of a slope. That means it's very easy to get naded if the information gets thrown and gets leaked over to the other teams, especially in that scenario. It would have been Destiny, it would have been Footballist. He got that close, and remember they tried to peek over that ridgeline, and they were getting actually pushed by the blue zone. There's no escape. So I would say 12-18 in general rotated and played that circle really well, but Tulika enabled that win to happen in the first place to make sure that Footballist or Destiny get nowhere near to securing himself a win.
Well, that was hella impressive gameplay coming in there, but of course,
man.
Yeah, I mean, we gotta now look to the second match of today, and it also, of course, gonna be back on it towards Sanhok, the map that you love so much. You know, remember that one.
You want to fight me or something? I don't know what you're looking for, man. But yeah, Sanhok. Yeah, I mean, Sanhok. To be honest, we give it a lot of smack. There are teams that are able to find a recipe to success on the map, even though it's not really easy to be consistent on it. But there's an opportunity to do so, and you never know. A team that maybe specializes on Sanhok, even though I don't think that any teams really specializes on Sanhok, except for Destiny, maybe. But there's a chance for teams to come back on that map if they get themselves some big kill games. So yeah, we'll see. Sanhok is Sanhok, and Sanhocky things are about to happen. That's all I can say. Which, if that does that help? Probably not, but I'm gonna say it anyway. So yeah.
But of course, now having Max say all that, we will be right back after the break as we jump back into Sanhok to see what the teams are gonna do. Hello and welcome back. What a crazy match that was that we just saw over on Erangel. Absolutely hot stuff. But of course, you are here with myself, DK, and Mr. Maxman. Of course, now looking to see what's going to happen on Sanak. But before we get into that, we of course have a few standings to get in after the previous Erangel. And as we move into that, things are really starting to heat up in the top of that leaderboard as we see the players from 12-18 with that absolutely phenomenal performance they brought, moving them up from 4th place all the way up into 2nd.
I mean, big games and big standings now for 12-18, being the 2nd team to join the 3-digit club in their overall points. Team Unique might be able to join that club at the very end, but it's good to see that we got some really clear domination from one of the CIS teams and also one of the Turkish teams, being Footballist in this kind of scenario. Team Unique also catching up when it comes down to the CIS region. And it's good. I actually didn't touch upon this too much, but we have 4 CIS teams. Reason why is because Na'Vi already qualified since the EMEA League last year, end of last year, and they didn't even need to qualify, but they qualified twice, meaning that they had another team from CIS. So we got a lot of CIS representation in these tournaments. I'm really stoked to see that actually coming on through at the very end of the board. But one team I'm really impressed here, especially, and I talked about Team Unique, 3rd position without a single win is very, very surprising. Showing how consistent this team actually is. They're not always looking for closure, not always looking to actually get those 15 points from a chicken dinner. But when you are this consistent and you find that big win at one point in time, that is enough to try and take crowns away from that number 1 position. So Unique, being consistent is good, but it's not 1st place good. I want to see them get now some wins and being able to close off games, go for those chicken dinners. If they can make it happen while still backing it up with that extreme consistency we've seen from them the entirety of this Ometal Pro League tournament, we might see them being able to snatch the title away from Footballist at the very, very end. So Team Unique, my eyes is going to be on them when it comes to taking a win. Maybe not on this Sandhog game, might be a little bit hard, but at least on the Miramar or the Erangel game that will follow up afterwards.
Yeah, and it is going to be quite a bit of a challenge, seeing that the zone has popped over on towards that western side. So it's definitely going to be an interesting one, especially looking at where the zone is centered up. And of course, we had that flight path also very over towards the western part. So quite a bit of a challenge already starting things off. But of course, we can see the teams pushing as far out to that western side as they can go.
Oh, no. Oh, no, Tixie. No. No. What's happening with Na'Vi? They lost players pretty early last game. And now, too, apparently. A pretty big spread, too, on that spot that they decided to drop onto here is going to be the northwestern island, or as Imperium likes to call it, Big Chungus Mountain, which I do not agree with. But you know what? You call it whatever you want. Oh, wait, I forgot, man. Someone called me cringe in the chat. I gotta avoid being cringe. I'm sorry, guys. I'm not gonna make any jokes. Otherwise, I'm cringe. I'll be very serious now. Kills coming through. Look at that. Zifan gets a nice headshot onto playoff Pseudo. Though Panda's got a really strong position here, especially DK, because they're surrounded the entire position of Ruins with a high ground. Pseudo, this is very, very hard position to move away from.
Yeah, and now, of course, we see footballers just lurking around in the background, so things could get quite interesting. Of course, looking to see just what is going to happen, but here we go. Panda now applying the pressure on to Pseudo, finding that first shot straight on thin. As you can see now, they're looking to find a few more. Hidan being the last hopeful for the Pseudo team, and he is right there alongside Hidan. This is going to be a pretty interesting play, and I'm pretty sure that it's going to be extremely tough for Hidan to get out of this one in one piece.
I'm really happy to see Zifan especially step up so much. He was not a player that we saw back in the Western European PL, but there we go. That's going to be GK first on the front line with the Uzi, ready to try and clap the cheeks of his opponents. They're going to try and run away in fear. It's going to be Pseudo down to 1, I believe, is going to be Hidan trying his best to move and snatch himself out of this position in Ruins. But this is why I don't drop in Ruins. It's such a big risk. You never want to play it. And from the high ground position, once again, it's Lin snatching it away from a distance. And that is Ruins cleared. And Panda securing himself a very early 4 kills. And I talked about this for Panda, especially. In our team, normally, DK, that do really well in early game fights. But they got used to it. And they do really good in these early fights, starting the end of yesterday and now today.
Yeah, I think they're really getting on, on a roll. They're starting to build up that momentum, bringing in the improvements. But of course, that is what we want to see for the teams moving up into EMA. We don't want the same play we had in PMPL.
We want more. We want way more coming out from them, hopefully. I mean, their team has been improving also a lot despite... I mean, this is a little bit of a story time. For you guys that haven't watched PMPL Western Europe, when you would see, especially week 1, week 2, Panda, they were a team that would rely heavily around GK First being the main carry for the team, which, you know, in his own regards, GK First is an insanely one of the most talented players, I would clearly say, in the Western European PMPL. And I think even in the European region, when you put players from Turkey, CIS, Arabia, even Africa, I think that he is clearly one of the best players in the region right now. But the thing is, they had too much of a focus of playing around GK First. And we need to see the rest of the team, like Lin, Yiz, Katu, try and step up. And that's happened now. You've seen Yiz, and especially Yiz and Lin, both stepping up in really, really big ways, which now is not just GK First performing, is the entirety of Panda. So for that alone, I give my huge amount of respect to them, because I think that's something that's not always easy to do, to say, yeah, we're getting carried, we need to improve, and we need to step up. But Panda did that, and I think that now they've clearly become one of the best teams to have a really big shot at being in the top positions at the end of the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. So there you go. That's story time for Panda. Now it's your turn. What, do you have a story time for us or not?
Story time?
I need to sleep after this.
Ooh. Well, no, I don't have a particular story, but I mean, I've already spun my story yesterday about the players from Guns, really bringing in that consistency all the way across, you know, the PMPL, but also we have the players from Fate in here. We have the players also then coming in from the Rico Infinity. And they've also been really just stepping up as the PMPL progressed, and was really impressed with how they held themselves, as well as Suda, in the final day of the PMPL Arabia. That final few matches, man, they just improved so much. We had a bit of an interesting upset that happened in the first 2 weeks of our PMPL. A team that got disqualified, but oh man, it was just absolutely insane gameplay.
I'm also pretty happy to see that Fate here are as a 4-man team, unlike last game where Reef was not here. Though he's going to be on the lobby this time around with the team, especially on Sanok. I think that's very important. You're going to need that man advantage in those skirmishes from time to time, so I'm happy that they actually got themselves the full squad ready to go. Okay, well, spotted out by Nextoria for split second. This is a team that I've been hyped to see play. I think that I haven't seen as much as I was expecting from Nextoria, but I know that they're an incredibly talented team. I was watching a bit of their own regional PMPL, and Nextoria are insane, DK. Very clearly one of the best teams coming out from their region, and they had insane teams in their own region themselves, right? You're looking from who they were playing with. Nextoria coming in from Turkey. They had the likes of Footballists. They had the likes of also World of Wonders coming on through. So many big names, big teams, big players that have got a huge following behind them, and able to actually be first place in PMPL Turkey. I think it's such an insane showcase for this team that I would say, on the international stage at least, was not all that well known. You had a few players that, you know, like Frozen X, Kudur are pretty known on the international stage. But as a team, this is definitely a big surprise. I think maybe not a lot of people were expecting. Maybe in Turkey it was expected because you have scrims and tournaments going on. But for that alone, next year, I'm expecting to see many big things. I haven't seen anything major just yet, but I'm sure in due time they will perform as we expect.
And I mean, definitely looking forward to seeing that performance come in, as I definitely think the EMA Championship is going to be so interesting to watch, and it's going to be a pretty tough run all the way through. And I mean, just looking at what we've been seeing in these past 3 days, absolutely phenomenal stuff. So I'm pretty excited to get into that. But of course, now the players here from Rico Infinity looking to take a little bit of an engagement over in towards Painan with the players there of World of Wonder just across the way. We can see Sun HP just positioned up a little higher there, and also Destiny just looking again up in the distance there. But now Hader coming in with the shots, just taunting the players here from World of Wonder.
It's just a little bit of back and forth. I'm not going to lie here, DK. I'm not expecting big things from this fight between Rico Infinity and also World of Wonders. So I think it's just going to be pretty laid back for the time being. And if there's a pretty hard shift, which is about to happen, actually, it's going to be phase 2 showing the top of its head on the map very soon, then we might have that fight actually result in something happening. As of right now, I'm not really hoping and expecting too much to happen for the time being. Talking about phase 2, Circle is going to pop up in just a few seconds, so hopefully we'll have a quick little look-sees on the minimap itself once that circle decides to go smaller and shift away in position. We'll see how things are going to be coming on through. Though Destiny and Fate, that fight is continuously ongoing, and Fate seemed like they're on the more receiving end of those shots and struggling a fair decent bit. Sun HP, as you said, a little bit higher up, can get that kind of information on the fight, maybe trying to snatch away a few kills along the way. But here you go, Circle shifts back on over to the western side. You know, as a straight up fact, or at least there's a big chance it's not going to go over to the mainland on the east. So you've got to focus heavily around those bridge locations, especially where Na'Vi and Panther currently stand.
Yeah, I mean, even the players there from Congress are looking exceptionally good in their position up in the northwestern side. So if that zone centers up there, they'll be just golden with their angle there. But of course, not Destiny. Keeping a very watchful eye on the top of that ridge. Looking to see if anyone's going to try and push over. But of course, Ragnarok there for Fate just hugging the edge of the rock, of the cliff face. Just trying to stay out of sight. Maybe just trying to regain a little bit of health. But of course, we see Michi just up ahead. So things could get spicy, and Ragnarok could get spotted out. Wow, that was difficult.
He might get spited. That's a different word, but I don't think you want to be. But he might get spotted indeed. Like, he is going to be normally spotted out by World of Wonders, I would say. That they normally will be the ones looking, but I think most of their attention is going to be driven towards that patch of grass right above him. So Ragnarok might be safe and being able to avoid the shots, because here clearly Destiny and World of Wonders going to be fighting over that riverside for the time being. So he might have a little bit of a respite for the foreseeable future. So this circle, we talked about it, especially all the teams over to the east, and World of Wonders, this is why they're looking so aggressive, because they know they have to cross this river. They know they can't remain on the mainland over to the east, so they need to try and find some way to make that cross actually happen, which is why you see Son HP being so far away on the minimap from the rest of his team. He's looking for that entry point, and he's going where the river is also smaller. You can see over to the west of his location, the river is a lot smaller, so if you want to swim, you'll have a lot less time in the water when you're vulnerable. So Son HP, I think, has a very clear idea in mind that that is the crossing point for the team. He's waiting for them to join up, cross, and maybe even threaten Destiny the moment they put their 2 feet on the ground.
It's going to be quite an interesting rotation to see
got
what
spotted.
comes through. Oh, but I mean, yeah, I agree with you. World of Wonders, they need to push across. Well, they're looking to push across. The zone hasn't forced them in just yet, but the blue zone is closing up. And of course, now another team that is looking to make a rotation is, of course, the players there from Next Riaz. They're trying to cross the bridge, but 12-18 are trying to prevent that. They're stepping up, putting up that defensive play, defending this bridge. Everything they've got.
That's an interesting position from Zakonivol. I rarely see that actually used. Reason why it's not a great position to play, I would say, is because if you have a team rotating on one of the other sides of the bridge, which typically here would be the northern side, Zakonivol is completely open, and he can very hardly so escape from that position. And Evo Station is doing exactly that too. But I think they know, because they dropped in this position, they play around this spot, so they know as a fact that the northern side seems pretty free. So I think that's a good idea. Is just be careful, because and I think I actually just saw a player of next Ria actually shift her further up north towards the building, which is exactly where he is. If he gets the information on 2 players of 12-18 being on that side of the bridge, then that could spell absolute misery for them. So 12-18 is an interesting position, but you got to be careful, because if that information is fed over to next Ria, you might regret it later on down the line. They did move away from it, so I'm happy. There you go. Good job. Thank you.
Well, of course, now if we look at the zone right up in towards the northwest while we wait for the zone to shift. I mean, Vito right there on at the edge, very close to Na'Vi, and of course with that zone centering up. Ooh, it is going to be the spot to defend, as a lot of these teams could be looking to move up onto the hilltop.
This is great. This is great for Conqueror. I need to get used to calling them Conqueror and not another org now. We're going to get used to it eventually. It's fine. We need to. We need to before the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. Skuda's going to try and move away. Nice little few shots coming out from Evo Station. He's going to try and make sure that he cannot rejoin the rest of his crew. If you didn't make that rotation with a car, then you might need another player to actually join up to him with a car, which might be the play coming out from Frozen X. They need to try and move down. That bridge is not going to be encircled in the next minute or so. So that rotation needs to be coming on through ASAP. I like it. This was a pretty good bridge defense coming out from 12-18. Not too aggressive while not being too passive at the same time. Taking shots, not being too scared. So I like the initiative coming out from 12-18. But now with the circle shifting like this, I would say next Royale, or you fully push it and try and take that rotation, or you just leave it. And if I were them, I would just not even try and take the chance, because this is a very risky position. And now they're close enough where they could easily get naded away.
They also send one of their players off to the coast. I mean, it's just on the edge of zone. Oh, there we go. Yekta comes
nice.
in from the side, getting that opening. And of course, this now gives the opportunity for Nihat to push on up to find that aggression and potentially steal it up for the team here of 12-18. As Evo Station is looking to send up a few nades, just trying to defend the position on the bridge. And of course, Tulika on the off angle could be providing quite a bit of support as they now try to defend the bridge, and the odds becoming tougher and tougher for them.
Kunina.
Oh, as the players here from, oh, come on, no, what? Kunina coming into the mix as well. The shots flying back and forth. The next Ruya now looking to dominate the bridge, finding quite a bit of damage into the side of 12-18. No, what?
Yes. That is such a good push coming out from Yekta. That was amazing. That's exactly what they needed to facilitate that rotation. But now, third-party Galore's coming on through. That's going to be right away. Gonzo with the QBU get involved. Nice spray. No way. He gets only one knock from that. I thought that was going to be a double whammy for sure. But no, Yekta is now the only remaining player for next Ruya. And Kunina Power, they strike at the exact golden opportunity to facilitate that bridge rotation while also picking up a few kills along the way. Yekta is only left alive for next Ruya. He's going to try and run back towards that shack, but man, Kunina Power are looking amazing on this cross. It's not easy, but they pulled it off like a bunch of chefs.
Yeah, they read that opportunity absolutely amazingly, just knowing when to bounce. And of course, well, now we can see them trying to make that play on the bridge. But Yekta patiently waiting. There is some eyes on Yekta. And of course, there we go. Fash Pioneer steps up to close the deal. And now we see the footballers coming in with a third party of their own.
There you go, man. We haven't. This is the third-party bridge. That's what we're going to have to call it here, GK. Apparently, Molly's coming on through. The thing is, this is going on for a really long time. We are now going into phase 4. That tick damage on phase 4 is increased a pretty significant margin. You can still deal with it. You can still res in that if you still have a few minutes to play around, but it's not easy. Lutz is going to be the one creating that push. Really good nades coming out from Kunina, but unfortunately, it's clearly not going to cut it. And that is going to be the push. At the end, despite that fight lasting for like what, 5 minutes now, Footballists will be the ones to facilitate that rotation across the bridge, but they still need to move in the circle. The fight is not over just yet.
Yep, and here we go. Yet another bridge fight about to break out. As guns come rolling on, we got Panda just lying in wait now. And here we go, Saifan looking to pick up a little bit of damage, but guns dropping in behind that hard cover. Of course, it's not a lot of distance for them to cover to make it up in towards zone, but it is still going to be a pretty tough fight, as this is one of the contested angles to rotate up in towards the zone. And man, Panda's going to try and hold this defensive line as long as they can.
Yeah, Panda, you got to be careful. That spread, I know the idea, but this is now going towards phase 5. You need to try and regroup because teams are clearly going to be able to try and capitalize on you being split. And one team, especially at a circle like this on phase 4, this is a Destiny circle if I've ever seen one. They got themselves so many wins in this exact position. Even more top 3s so in a position like this on the Northwestern Island. They know how to play it down to a T. So you got to be careful because if the compound is free up north, Panda might just get backstabbed at the very end. Lutz, great molly on 2 players of NASR, going to get a double confirm. So it seems like the action is now unfolding in big ways, but Unique, they need to try and get a good game. They need to try and get themselves a good performance. If they do so, they might be able to try and get even closer to Footballists to contest that first place in the 2 last games of the day.
It's going to be quite the uphill battle, of course. Here we go. Unique now trying to get the upper hand, rotating over the top of the bridge, coming in, but of course now Guns spot them out, putting a quick stop to that. But Mind also now coming in with the exact same strategy. Will they be able to sneak all the way through? Of course, now Hamodi being the target. Mind, don't mind me, just sends it straight on in. But of course, Raouf gets taken down as well as Panda now move in to bring their own 2 cents to the fight. Of course, Unique now trying to get all the way across the bridge, and Panda might still be able to pick this one up.
I can't believe this is working for Mind. You must be kidding me. I mean, it's a great oversight. It's a great overlook position. I think Zifan spotted it. No, he hasn't seen it, actually. He's going to be looking back for a second. Panda, I like it. They got already one player that was towards the circle. It was GK first. They see the compound is still an open opportunity, so they're going to be trying to snatch it for themselves. I like that play coming out from Panda. It's good. It's proactive. That's exactly what you want to see. I believe we did see Destiny go down, which means Destiny's down. Panda feeling a lot more confident in this lobby right now. But those Zifan's going to try and move away. Mind's going to get the information. Still taking down the blue zone, doing some pretty big damage. He does make it inside just in time, but now he could be spotted. His sneakers, a little too big, will be overlapping a little bit over the edge.
Wow, this is like a big brain play coming in here from Mind. And now I understand why Mind is called Mind. I mean,
I don't know, yeah, but it's a good play. We saw it especially back in the Western European PL. You turn around so your feet are facing towards the enemies, and you can actually get priority. Well, not get priority. I like saying getting priority. I say it quite a bit. But like that, you're not going to be that easy to spot from players down below. So it's a small thing. You got to respect it coming out from Mind.
Wow. Of course, now here we go. Panda and 4KT starting their fight just here on the edge of zone. A few knocks already finding their way through onto the 4KT side, but now they're looking to apply a bit of pressure on it towards the players there from Rico Infinity, as Panda's now getting caught in quite a bit of an awkward sandwich here. We got 4KT, we got Guns, we got Rico Infinity, so many teams in the vicinity, but here we go. Aimer looking to make a play. Oh, was busy loading, picks up one knock. There we go. Lin gets taken down. Aimer. Oh, gets onto the wrong end there. Jagger now getting knocked out as well. And this is where Storm is once again left to fight it out for the team. Sending up those utils, sending up those nades, looking to kill the opponents there from the Banda team. Will he, though, be able to pick it up? Of course, now Banda just so wounded, but he is lying in wait just up ahead. It is going to be quite the battle, quite the challenge for Storm to try and out-heal that zone, quickly managing to pop one up. But of course, Lovazin is just waiting at the back. So this is a really tough angle, but of course, you can see also Saifan keeping an eye on the wall, predicting that movement. And here we go. Yez now starting to push up as well, looking to close up the gates for the players here from Storm.
Might be able to make it happen. I want to say how impressive Zifan has been. It's been really strong from him. Storm 4K, there you go. Slime 4KT has got Storm trying to go for a little bit of utility coming his way. He is taking a lot of damage. Can he get the trade onto Storm? Gets the spray and closes it off as he zooms in with that 4x scope on the M4. Great showcase of what this man can do once again. But now you're in the nade facility, my boy. And you got to be careful because they're going to make it rain down like a mini red zone. That looks like a little bit far away. It was a little bit too cooked also. But now it's time for Panda to cross over. And this is such a hard time for Panda to make it over to that cliffside. One player makes it. They're not confirming it. So the reses could come through actually from Panda. They could get Years back on his 2 feet.
Especially now with Navi pushing in from up above, finding the hits into the side of footballers, of course. Now, this is where Lutz is facing quite an uphill battle. Also now sending up those utils, looking to find an extra little bit of damage. World of Wonder just the top of the hill, so a lot of third-party potential here, but there we go. Lutz gets picked up in the exchange. Of course, now this is that break the teams were looking for, just lessening the pressure ever so slightly. Navi stepping up to confirm the point on towards footballers. But of course now, Lovazin just looking to make that play off in the distance. Rico Infinity also just hugging the edge of zone. World of Wonders making a quick dash up into the zone. As you can see, Sun now just dropping down right there behind the rock. Qtel comes sending in with the nades. Oh, it doesn't reach. So close.
I like this coming out, especially Rico Infinity. You guys got to know in the standings, they're currently in 15th position with 35 points. They might just almost double their points so far if they get himself control of this high ground spot. World of Wonders get taken out into position. That clears a lot more breathing space for Rico Infinity, but apparently I jinxed it a little bit for them. Qtel will get spotted away. Navi are just so clean at being able to peek your head over those little ridge lines. And it's so hard. But Panda, down the cliffside position. You got to be careful. Rico Infinity, they want to push. That's Panda dead. They just got wiped off the surface of Sandhawk. But now Navi, a little overzealous, a little overconfident. They see the shots, but unfortunately, they get clapped almost instantaneously. Meku got naded up so nicely from Prestige. And he's now made it over to the cliffside. He is safe from the aggressive shots coming out from Navi.
But are they going to be safe from the blue zone that is starting to close on in? 3 teams remain to fight it out for this chicken.
Come on.
Navi looking to pull off that rest. They are looking to find that 2-player number moving up into this final stretch. But of course, Rico Infinity Prestige is relentless. He comes strafing in. Oh, gets the re-knock. Oh.
No. Oh, it's Meku that gets it. I'm not going to lie. I don't get why he tried to push that. I think that the circle was going to move away from the cliff. You should have held down to the cliff. You would have potentially been really good. But Lovazin, he's still got 9 first aids and he's got a med kit. I mean, he's not going to use a med kit. It takes too long to use, but Okay, we got this game's going to go on for a while, so we can talk about how good of a game that was coming out from Na'Vi as Meki secured himself the final fight. And man, Na'Vi, they were not looking great at the start. They were in 13th there, DK. And now that one game alone, I think is going to push them towards the top 5.
Yeah, and that's all it takes. All it takes, one exceptional match like this performance we are seeing coming in from Na'Vi, like the performance we saw come in from Guns yesterday. That is what a team needs to just catapult them back on up. But of course, we've seen this come in from several of these teams. So what makes this so interesting is to see when exactly they decide to deploy that strategy.
Yeah, it's an interesting strat. I mean, lower, hey, second position. He just... Wait, did he get confirmed? Oh, it is play zone. It was the play zone that did kill him at the very end there. But still, Na'Vi finally get himself... Not only is that going to be a win coming their way, that is, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to check. That is Na'Vi's very first one, actually, in the Ometal Pro League. Very first W coming their way. I'm hyped to see where they're going to be standing after this one in the overall rankings. There is still a chance for Na'Vi to get back really high in the standings, to start hitting those money positions in that top 3 at the end of this Ometal Pro League tournament. Footballist, I mean, showing once again they're a very consistent team. They got himself a top 3 last game with the likes of Panda and 1218. Another top 3 this time around, now turned into a top 2. Short of really big heal-off, but it's Sanhok. Heal-off strats work. That is what I don't like about Sanhok, but Sanhok is Sanhok, and Sanhok you heal off. Okay, I said a lot of Sanhok in one sentence, but you get the point that you know the blue zone is annoying, you know the circles aren't going in your favor. Put all of the first aids on one of your allies, as in that case was Lovazin, and just let him heal. And if the fights break out properly and break early, especially in those finishing moments, you're going to get a top 5 most of the time. That's what Panda did in the PMPL Western Europe. It worked out tremendously well for them. And Footballists pull off the exact same strat and get a second spot. So people might not like it, but man, it gets you points. And at the end, points are what truly matter at the end.
If it works, it works. Why try to break something that just works? I mean, and yes, that is kind of the thing. When you get onto Sanhok, it is that you're very likely to bring in those heal strats. But yes, got to give it to Na'Vi, got to give it to Footballers. That was an absolutely phenomenal play. But also, Rico Infinity really held their own all the way up into the final section just before they got sent back.
It was a really strong position they were trying to play, but unfortunately, and I had to try and analyze a little bit more the terrain. Even the high ground position was a very close slope. There was no little flat terrain to try and play around. There was no rocks. There was no insanely huge trees, and trees are very thin. So, like, if you're me, you're a little bit of a fatty boy, you're going to be overlapping from both sides. They tried. It didn't quite go their way, but I like the initiative coming out from Rico Infinity. I would say it was clearly seen, DK, and you tell me if you agree or not, was seen as a passive team. So it feels good to see them actually trying to take an opportunity to try and find closer to a game, because they know, as I said, they were in 15th. They need some banger games to try and get back into it. This does help them out, but they know what they have to do is to get wins. And that was the mentality of a team that was indeed trying to get wins. So for that alone, I got to give a little tip of the hat over to Rico Infinity. I think that's a good initiative that they take in that game.
Yeah, I mean, Rico Infinity definitely is not a passive team, you know. I think maybe it's just, you know, it's a new team going up against.
Now, from what I've seen. Yeah.
So I think they'll still get more comfortable, you know, against these teams and then start playing the way that we know they can play. But of course, speaking of that, we are going to be heading in towards Miramar to see what the teams are going to be doing back on those sandy dunes, getting us back into the action. Of course, we'll bring you right into Miramar right after the break. Hello and welcome back. Of course, we're now getting ready for our third match of today. But of course, coming back from that second one, Max, it was absolutely crazy finish. That heel off coming in. Wow, that was just insane.
You know what? I'm going to have a question for the chat, for you guys at home. So answer in the chat right now. How many first aid kits did you think Lovezin had for the start of Footballist? My bet, I'm going to say 35. I think 35 is a pretty decent number. And I think that would explain because that guy's been healing for a really big portion of time. I think 2 to 3 circles before the end. So I would say, there you go. 35 is my personal guess. Do you have a guess yourself, DK?
I feel 26.
26? Okay. Not as much as I thought you would go for. But hey, you know what? Fair enough. That's good. I like 26. That's a pretty nice number. Though the standings, pretty big shifts happening once again, which I'm not surprised. This is a very short-term tournament compared to your the PMPLs or the leagues where it's like 3 weeks, 4 weeks of action. Here until the very end, you're going to see those back and forth really happening. Yeah. For example, back to Na'Vi. We talked about them being, 13th, 14th position before that game, now climbing back up to a 10th position with the very first win. Is good. It's not enough to overtake a lot of the positions. I thought it would be a little bit more, but the thing is, they are a lot closer to the few teams above them, the likes of Destiny, Next Roya, Kanina Power. If they back it up with another great performance, I'm talking top 3 minimum, then that's going to climb them even closer to that top 5 position. I think they're still out of the race when it comes down to securing himself a first position. Very clearly, that does not seem like an achievable thing for them to do, and especially because Footballist keeps continuously getting good results, so it's super hard to catch up to them. But yeah, it's good to see Na'Vi back into it as we were expecting, and Concerned too. Normally not one of the main roster players for Na'Vi. Able to actually assist the backing of the team in pretty nice ways. So I'm really happy. But man, Footballist here, they got himself a 51-point lead on second position. 51-point lead. With 2 games to go. Not only must 12-18 or Team Unique get insanely good results here, DK, but Footballist must fail back-to-back in these 2 final games on Miramar and also on Erangel. And they know Footballist. I mean, they're also just training. They're using these tournaments potentially as scrims too. Scrims was prize was pretty nice to have. But they literally just have to make it to the late game and they win 100% assured. So Footballist, they got everything to lose now.
Yeah, there's quite a bit on the line. So we're going to see, of course, that top 9 looking so close with regards to points. I mean, it's all the way from 79 points. Well, from 3rd place to 9th place. From 79 to 100. So just a little bit separating the teams. Of course, only 21 points between 3rd and 9th. So definitely, it is still neck in neck. But of course, as we look over towards the map, we did see a very decent flight path coming in. So this would, of course, now give the teams yet another opportunity to step up and deliver, to bring in those points. I'm curious to see whether or not we're going to be seeing a change in the leaderboard in that middle section, or if we'll have one of the teams a little bit further down using this opportunity to now try and leapfrog their way up to the top.
Maybe. I'm just intrigued to see, are we going to be seeing now Guns get himself another 20-kill chicken dinner performance? That would be pretty nice to see. Next Roya, normally they're the team that they clash up against in the likes of El Pozo, but this playing path being pretty easternly, it does not facilitate that kind of early shift towards El Pozo, so they might have to try and make for a secondary drop location, which will just maybe not allow them for their peak performances on Miramar itself. But you know what? They're still going to give it their true best shot. I like this, especially for Panda. This is a team that would really enjoy these kind of circles. I know I talk a lot about Panda because they're a team that I know a lot of, so I like to try and explain that and trying to, teach the chat a little bit why Panda is such a good team. They like to go for the big rotation on the western highway, which is a very easy rotation. There's a lot of car spawns too. You don't typically have a lot of teams that drop around those locations. So normally they'll go to Valdemar. Easy rotation up north because we saw it yesterday, especially DK. I don't think they want to fight versus Kanina Power anymore. So they're like, nope, we go to Valdemar, we loot, and we leave. That's the plan.
Well, of course, I'm expecting teams to try different strats, try different approaches, because they're trying to get a hang of the competition. They're going to try and get, a feel for how to best rotate, how to best counter the teams that they're going up against.
Okay there.
I'm dying here. Wow.
Don't die, man. You good? You okay? Emmy scared me.
Wow, it
Guys,
was that
F in the
water.
chat for DK.
I needed that water. I mean, you said water, and I took some, but clearly not enough. But yeah, I mean, some interesting strats coming in there from Guns, crashing into the trees. Good place to park the vehicle. But yeah, as I was saying, it's interesting to see what strats the teams are going to try. See what works best against the competition.
It's interesting. You got teams that, of course, improving a lot because I'm not sure, and you guys might know more than me in the chat right now in terms of the schedules for scrims or other small tournaments before the PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. But these are one of the last opportunities for these teams to now train and get as much knowledge and get as prepared as they possibly could for that PMPL that's coming up in just a week's time now.
Yeah.
So adapting now is still good, and I would like to see teams still adapt because I think that you see so many teams that have a really big ego. And I remember, especially in PMGC, guys, one of the biggest, the biggest stage of PUBG Mobile Esports that has to offer right now, that you would have teams, especially from Korea. I'm thinking back at Archer, DRS2. They would be super stubborn and never change their playstyle. And that caused them to not even make it to the finals in Dubai. So it might still be late, a week before changing playstyle. It can be pretty scary, but it's better to change it now rather than trying to adjust on the fly in the event itself. So if it's not working, it's fine. Just don't have that ego. Still keep on working, and I'm hoping that teams can can find the strength in himself here, DK, to try and improve and find different strats that might work better for them in the event itself.
Yeah, so I 100% agree with you on that. You know, this is this is as good a place as any to try and improve, you know, as a strat against the teams you're going up against. And I mean, it's going to be a pretty tough play. It is going to be a pretty tough run. It could be scary even, you know. Just looking at the caliber of teams playing here, it's pretty tough.
It's a pretty hard one. It's not an easy lobby for sure. So I'm think that there can be some interesting results at the end. So I'm just trying to check. I'm trying to check out some stats at the same time on my screen. So I'm trying to see if there's anything interesting that comes to mind. So that's why I might be a little bit absent-minded right now. But that's okay. I like the numbers. Even though, as you guys know, if you probably watch PNPL Western Europe, I'm not that good at math, but numbers can be pretty damn interesting from time to time. So here you go. Back to Conqueror. Moving in Picardo. I always like how the old God Sent Now Conqueror play Picardo, but I always think they tend to rotate a little bit late, so that's one of the few improvements that I'm hoping to see coming out from them. Talking about improvements, I want to ask you, because once again, if you guys are unaware, DK had the chance to cover and cast the PNPL Arabia just a few weeks ago now. Are there any teams that are in this tournament right now for the Ometal Pro League that you think have improved the most in the Arabic scene?
From, like, are you meaning from PNPL Arabia up to this point, or just in general?
Just in general, that had shown big improvements throughout PNPL Arabia. Even now, if you want, but which ones would stand out to you as, like, you know, they clearly improved?
I definitely got to go back to Fate once again. You know, they started off in the beginning of the PNPL Arabia with a fairly decent start. You know, it wasn't anything exceptional per se, but it started improving as they kept on going, just kept on moving, building up that flow, building up that momentum, and it really just started to flourish when we eventually made it into, you know, that final week. Because if you look at the first week, Fate didn't make it into the first super weekend for Arabia. They did, however, make it into the second one. When they came into that second one, they came in and they really stepped up so hard. It just brought it. Of course, you know, there was a few teams making it a bit challenging for them to continue that, but they ended off on a good note on the second week. And then when they came into the third week, they just pushed with everything they had. They finished up just for this particular super weekend, the third one. They finished in 6th for that weekend by itself, and really good performance. So close. And of course, I mean, Rico Infinity was right there alongside them, just pushing up together. It was really great to see.
It's interesting because right now we're not seeing an insane showcase of Fate and Rico Infinity and what they're doing. Maybe strats also, they don't want to show too much in the Ometal Pro League before the PNPL itself, but an extra kill coming on through. Rico Infinity, talking about them, apparently we cursed them a little bit, but Conqueror, they just run on through, pick up a kill, and they are on the move once again. Rico Infinity, not too easy to move away from this kind of location. I don't even know if Qtail's got a car with him right now, but yeah, Conqueror going to position himself a little bit higher up. So Qtail, Prestige, if you can leave, that'll be great. But knowing the likes of Conqueror, they are aiming for those kills right now. With only 2 games remaining, they want to frag it out in the finishing moments.
And it's going to be interesting, right? As you can see, Swave and Azzy already now starting to push on Prestige. Just there on the opposite end, just putting a little bit of distance, but also just lurking around. I'm curious to see, though, if Prestige is going to try and pick up Qtail and maybe rotate out.
I was liking how Qtail was positioned, but it seemed like the game plan for them is to leave Vito. Got spotted away, AKM shot with the iron sight, and he jumps away. Behind that party bus, just perfectly positioned. Now it's down to a mini 1v1. He's got the time. His teammate, Azzy especially, is going to peek over the top of the ridge and assist his teammate. That is what I call team play, baby. But Azzy, right on the back end, can't hide anywhere. And Hader not only gets knocked, he's going for the little one-taps. And boom, Azzy is back to the lobby. As Hader, from a not really a great position in the first place, able to actually capitalize on that overzealous push from Azzy. But that was a weird interaction. I like the idea from Qtail, but it seemed like the rest of Rico Infinity had different plans in mind.
Yeah, there's quite a bit of split between the teams. You can see Prestige just far off in the back, but really good coverage coming in from Hader. Quick response. And that is essentially what you want in the team, knowing that they have your back if something like this was to happen.
see what's going to be going on through. This is a position where I would love to see Conqueror do that all the time back in the PMPL Western Europe. They're doing it more, so I think that they've definitely found that, and we're back to that improvement kind of point we were making earlier. They are seeing these opportunities a little bit more, so I'm stoked. I'm really happy to see that coming on through from Conqueror themselves. So phase 1 circle about to close off. Typically, I mean, phase 1 circle on Miramar, you're rarely going to be seeing teams get wiped off the surface of the earth. Happen to just lose 2 players of Echo Infinity. Other than that, I'm not really expecting too much. Conqueror, though, sorry, not Conqueror, Canina Power. They actually, it really seems, and tell me if you agree or not here, DK, it seemed like they're almost chasing down Panda. Because Panda dropped down south of Trumacera, same for Canina Power, and they both had the exact same rotation. After I did not see back in the CIS if this is a position where Canina Power typically play, but they very similar to the likes of Conqueror. They might be trying to get last-minute kills in these last 2 games to try and rank up as high as they potentially can.
It's definitely very interesting play. Seeing the 2 teams rotating up so similarly. I mean, I don't even want to know what's going through their heads as they're moving through that zone and spotting out each other. Definitely quite an interesting conversation to be listening into. But now, 12-18, just also looking to make a bit of a play, but it's... Ooh, there we go. Gilfeed starting to bring in the action as Canina and Panda now start taking the engagement.
I like that. Nice little bit of aggression happening between these teams. Would like to see the circle, especially because this circle pop, of course, is going to require a lot of teams to think on the go and try and find himself some good positions. So that's the interesting aspect. Frozen can't quite see what weapon he's got right there. I think that is, I think that was an M4. I have no idea, but Frozen's going to be in close quarter combat right here and will lose that fight to Lord of Guns, and they're going to, man, they really want that loot. Jesus, don't punch him. Jeez, calm down. The rest of Next Rest going to be now joining the party. They want to be having a piece of that cake. Baralv got spotted away, and under that buggy, Kuda will be the one to pick up that fight. Seems like now Guns here have truly found a worthy opponent in the name of Next Ruya. You've got to be careful because this is not going to be in the playable area for too long, so they're going to have to try and end this fight eventually in the foreseeable future. They've got time. He's in phase 2 circle, but phase 3, the odds are that it's not going to be there. So you've got to think, do you want to take that fight and get the kills, or do you want to go and get priority in a good position in the circle? That's the decision these 2 teams are now going to have to make. But Panda and Canina Power seem like the clash we were talking about earlier here, DK, is currently unfolding. And Panda aren't looking too clean. They're looking like... Actually, they are not looking clean at all, man. They're dying by the second.
Yep. They just got taken out at the hand there of Canina Power. So a really good interaction between the 2 teams that we saw coming in on that kill feed. But now, looking to see what Guns are going to be doing. Of course, as you said, you know, they got to think of how that zone could be shifting up. They do have another minute left on the clock, so there is still some time. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see what exact play they are going to try and make here as the players from Next Ruya are now also just slowly rotating up a little bit further into a more centralized portion in the zone.
I like this one coming on through. I think this is a really good play from Next Ruya. They don't want to take that fight any further. It's going to be edged. They might get gate kept if teams hear the shots. It's a good initiative, and I think it is good to have that kind of respect. Oh, no, it's back. The spinning circle is back. No, we haven't seen him since game 1. He's going to be back on screen. Hopefully, will be leaving us very soon. But regardless, you're currently seen in this position, the compound is still in favor of the team inside. There's Slime 4KT that want to join on in the festivities, and Ree's going to try and leave that party entirely, which I think is a good play. Prestige, he was waiting, strikes in time. Vito, though, being absolutely on point when it comes down to taking those little sneaky one-taps or sprays and bursts on the likes of Prestige. This is good. I think that these teams have clearly been showing that they want to try and get big and strong positions under their control. It's good. I'm not having any issues. There's nothing out of the ordinary. There's no big major mistakes. It's mainly down to micro mechanics, not really macro in these fights, especially with Slime 4KT trying to join a little bit of these engagers. Yeah, this is cool. I think that this is a game that I'm expecting from the best teams, you know, of Arabia, Turkey, CIS, Europe. So I have nothing to say. Normally I'll be like, I'm criticizing, this is not good, but I have literally nothing much to say here, DK. So when I can't critique and say bad things, I can't say anything. I can only speak negative things, apparently. No, it feels bad.
Oh. But of course, now a really good spray coming in from Storm there over onto Prestige, picking up quite a bit of damage. But this is where I'd like to see what Storm is going to do from this. You know, to see how they're thinking, what their logic is with regards to this approach. Because we've got the players there from Conqueror just behind Rico Infinity. So they got to be careful. If they push up too far and expose themselves just a tad, a little bit too much, I mean, the players from Conquerors are going to swoop in right on top of that, regardless of what Rico Infinity does.
Oh, look at that tag team. I love it, man. They got themselves naded a little bit. There was a good nade coming up from Prestige. But Storm 4KT, one of the best African players, in my eyes at least, and very clearly made a big step up for himself in the African PMCO and getting a spot for themselves as the only African team in the EMEA Season 1 PMPL. He's going to move out. Fortunately, Prestige going to be spotted out instantly. Vito will be the one to pick it up. Another big name when it comes down to the roster of Conqueror, a continuous top 4 players in the entirety of the Western Europe PMPL. But hey, Slime 4KT, they tried to snatch a few kills along the way, but they get nothing of it. They got the short end of the stick, as Conqueror will be the ones to hold on to it. Though now you know that the team is currently positioned in this warehouse in Power Grid. Do you want to push it, even though it's a strong position in circle? If I were them, I would not advise so. So I would just say, you can keep scouting. That's okay. You can keep getting the information, but you need to wait for phase 3 circle to show the top of its head, and then take a decision based around that circle shift. I don't think it's worth pushing on Conqueror right now, unless the circle really centralizes on Power Grid in the finishing moments of this game.
Yeah, I mean, I would also... Ooh, never mind.
Hey, now maybe now is worth it. Okay.
Because what I was about to say is, like, I would possibly maybe disengage from that position. You know, just move a little bit
For Slime
around. Yes, for Slime, I would definitely just rotate it a little bit. Just get out of there, because Conqueror, you don't want to go fight them if they're already established in a compound. It's maybe easier to try and take them on when they're busy rotating. Well, even if Noshi, that's how rotation. That's how you do a rotation. You know, you come rolling down the side of the hill.
I think that's called a flip. But you know what? Hey, if you want to do a rotation by flipping around, then that's cool. Hey, you give it a shot.
Well, technically, it is a rotation.
I understand. Now do you say it like that? Actually, now that I think about it a little bit more in depth, you are right. You are technically correct. It is a rotation on the correct axis. Though Footballist here, Solke is going to be stranded away. I don't know if his team is dead or if he's just going to be split away from them. One thing for sure, he is alone in a fight down south of San Martin versus 12-18. NASR get involved also, and even World of Wonders can take a few shots from down below, and it's going to be 12-18 that are going to be opening up the festivities versus Solke, and that is going to be a flush arena coming on through. And see you later, Solke. Mr. IGL, you are going back to the lobby. You can play a bunch of TDM if you want, as now Na'Vi and Unique going to be taking another fight. CIS versus CIS. It seems like Team Unique, they are taking a big fat L, as 2 players, Analyst and Frozen, will be put down on their knees in submission, as Matic and Kitsune will be trying to back it up. And man, Kitsune, we've been seeing so many things from this guy. I'm really happy to see Kitsune perform this well for the team when Old Boy is not here. It's a big stepping when one of the best players on the team, very clearly Old Boy, is not here to play for your squad.
Yeah, that was a really interesting play that we saw come in right off the mat there. But of course, now Tixie, just ooh, what is going on here? This is just insane. I was about to say Tixie was trying to gather an extra bit of information and pass it over. But now Kitsune comes pushing in from behind, coming in with that angle, looking to pick up the hits on towards Unique. Football is just off in the distance, and this is where we look to see what Unique will do. Of course, now Mind getting that res up on towards Frozen. But we see Kitsune now sending those utils in, trying to find the damage. Because now, this is where it gets hairy. Kitsune going in for the res. Will he be able to pull out of that one fast enough? Oh, Frozen goes down.
Oh, Kitsune won. Yes! That's the 1v2. That's the 1v2 for Kitsune. Absolutely mental for Natus Vincere. Though, if I can be a little bit critical on that play, I do think Kitsune should have gone for the res way earlier to make sure you're not going to get pushed from the other side by Team Unique. But now, Footballists, they join a party. They want to get the engage. They want those juicy frags for themselves to secure that first position. Kitsune gets one. Ron will be there to close the gap and secure themselves the double kill, the double whammy on the opposing squad, and Footballists will be victorious at the end. Lots getting knocked away, but man, Na'Vi, that was so close, yet so far, but the third party did ruin their chances at the end.
Man, that was absolutely beautiful push coming in there from Footballers, just capitalizing on the third parties. But now we look to see what the players here from NASA and of course 12-18 are going to be doing atop of the hill over in San Martin. It is a fairly interesting position for them to be fighting it out. So many angles to try and cover, but we've seen 12-18 can hold their own. They can fight. They can get down and dirty. But of course, now Destiny is moving in right there alongside them. So it is going to be a difficult play for the players of
Oh,
NASA.
the circle.
Mm.
This is okay. World of Wonders. G2 split's good. Regroup like right now. Okay, you do not want to do it. I already seen Joe 7. He's in a car. Followed up with also recent. So they're going to try and reposition towards where Zessi and also where Sun HP are currently localized, which is going to be to the western warehouse of San Martin. I think that's a good rotation. And they're playing it and executing it really well. Though they're going to try and move away from the southern side of San Martin. That's going to be Destiny and 1218. Seem like 1218 have the little bit of an upper hand for a quick second there as Noshi. And Mozara just zooming on by, and he does not want to stick around in his position. The Noshi nades can be as big as downfall, but 1218, they almost forgot Noshi was there. Mozara moves away, the car does explode, but he does have some decent coverage, but Fate are taking shots from above. As Noshi picks up one, almost a double, but Evo Station will be able to redeem that fight for his team, and 1218 will still remain as a 4-man if Klein can get Rez back up on his 2 feet.
Well, there we go. Now Talika looking to close that one up, sending up the utils, looking for the hits. And I think it is almost safe to say that they were able to take out Destiny, as we don't see. Yeah, Fate. I believe Fate swooped in and picked that one up. If I'm not wrong. We might see it in the kill feed, of course. Now we see just up ahead the players here from Conqueror now looking to solidify their dominance up here in the power grid. We got the players here from 4KT looking to push in. They've already gained good entry into the power grid itself. But of course, now will they be able to push further and, contest the players there from Congress? Also now Fate on the side. It could, again, be a bit of a third-party fight breaking out here as they are so close. And there's not a lot of distance really separating them. Of course, now Yaga getting caught out in the open as Vito steps up, puts the shots through, and of course picks up the knock. But now we see what Aimer and, of course, Storm are going to try and do. Pronto right there alongside Aimer. Storm holding that off angle. Could be quite an interesting play. Should 4KT be able to isolate one of the players from Conqueror?
If they can do so. But the thing is, Conqueror in this position is very clearly the team on the receiving end. They're waiting for the fight to come their way, and they're the ones dictating what's happening in that skirmish. So I think that they don't really have to do too much. They just need to wait for the other team, which is going to be in that case Line 4KT, to push in their global vicinity. Frags. Oh, sorry, frags, guns. I'm going to keep on saying it. Change the tag, please. It's getting really confusing for casts sometime. That's just my little rant of the day. But regardless, guns are going to be moving away from the western side, trying to move in. The blue zone is going to engulf them. It's going to be pretty hard. Could still potentially get the res onto Hamodi. It is a little bit of a risk because got next rear just above, once again, from the side of Turkey. And they do not want to take that fight versus guns. I like that play. It's risky. They could have potentially got a few kills, but I think they're more interested in getting circle, holding onto that spot, and also getting a little bit of a high ground position down southwest, which gives them priority and advantage up against the likes of guns. Nice break coming out from Nia, and he's going to try and potentially close that one off with a sexy nade. But guns here very clearly, DK, are not looking in a comfortable spot.
Yeah, they're really being put on the back foot here, but now Hamodi is trying to make a play with this. Comes rushing up the side, finds the spray. Up into Yekta. Oh, come on. Oh! Wow, that was close. But of course, now Niha now looking to make a good play as well, sending the utils up once again, looking to find the reach. But of course, the nade's just coming up a little bit short. Freak running straight into that one, and here we go. Hamodi steps up and of course picks up the players there from New Roya. What an exchange, what a fight that was.
Yeah, that was a big issue I had was next rear, is they were not actually on the ridge. They were a little bit further away from the ridge, allowing that push to actually come on through from the other side. So I like the attempt, but I think the execution was a little bit poor on their side. So it's not going to be working out for them whatsoever, and it's going to be Guns take himself the W at the end of that fight. World of Wonders have Zessi currently already crossing the road over. The three other players will have to try and rejoin in that spot, hopefully in the very, very near future. Well, 3 or 2 players. I think there's only 2 players in the northern side for World of Wonders, so they have to join up as a 3-man on where Zessi currently is. But Conqueror, they actually got pushed out of Power Grid itself, which they are looking towards the next circle because it did put Power Grid outside of the map for this next circle. But it's interesting that they did not want to try and take that fight too much, and now they're actually put outside of the building itself. Maybe a little bit over passive, I would almost say, coming out from them, as Vito is going to be chucking all the utility in the world he currently has. But Fate, they want to go for sneaky third party over that ridge to try and make sure that Slime 4KT or even Conqueror do not move away from the south.
Yeah, of course, now is the time to strike. As we can see, the players here from Conqueror really putting a lot of effort into the fight just to try and suppress the players here from 4KT. But now that push coming in from Fate could be just beautiful. And that could be exactly what 4KT needs to move a little bit further up in those placement points. But of course, now Kanina Power just on the opposite end. And it seems like it's a little bit of a split attention coming in from the side there of the players of Conqueror.
It seems like it right now. Lath is going to be taken on down. Actually, didn't quite see the kill feed. There's so many kills. The kill feed is just like, what's going on? I have no idea, man. We're too far behind. No. That is going to be coming out. As Lath got knocked away, actually, by Evo Station from 1218. So they are still getting involved in the kill feed, apparently, which is good to see from an aggressive CIS team. Well, I think most CIS teams are very aggressive. We've seen it from their PMPL. If they see you, they're going to kill you. Ragnarok trying to still nade it up a little bit. Slime 4KT very stacked on top of each other. One nade could cause their demise. So they know they can't move away. And especially with Reeves playing this rooftop position, this is Slime 4KT, I believe here, DK, living their final moments.
Yeah, it could be pretty tough because Reeves just got a handle on that rooftop. And of course, the Utils are coming in from Fate as well. Really tough spot for 4KT to defend. Storm also can't move up too much because, I mean, Conqueror, they just have their eyes nailed to that warehouse. So whatever movement comes in, whatever pixel is out of place, they're going to react. But now also Fate moving in from that eastern side. It is going to be so tough. But here we go. A little bit of damage finding its way on over. But that third party from Conqueror comes on through. Of course, Storm picks up Ragnarok in the process. But will that be enough for 4KT to secure themselves up into the next phase?
I don't think so. I think, as I said, it's only Storm now remaining. He is still the clutch master of Africa, but I don't have really high hopes. Nice little peek and shoot coming on from him, though Reef is going to have priority behind that car. Gets thrown in time, but the nade from down below gets it done. Nasty African team out of this game in 5th position. There's now 4 teams that remain in the finishing moments. And man, this is looking like a potential spicy finish. The circle very heavily shifts down south over more to the western edge, which is huge for the likes of Conqueror. And all the teams up north still got to take a bigger fight. And is this especially going to be 12-18? And one player from an ASR in the name of Hassan, he's in a dip. So one nade and he's gone.
I'm not surprised by the nade utility, of course. Yeah, as you said. NASA getting sent right on back. Hassan getting picked up, but now Conqueror out in the open. Fate stepping up, looking to close this one out. 12-18 now making their play in from that northeastern angle as well, looking to apply the pressure. Of course, they pick up Ragnarok in the process. Lath also now getting hit. This is where it gets hella spicy as Isawi is holding onto the edge. Of course, now Zakanivor now looking to send up those nades. Finds a little bit of damage. Not ideal just yet. But 12-18, they're not going to back out of this fight. You can see Reef now looking up, looking to greet them up. Oh, there we go. No. Picks up one. Will it be 2? Evo Station now looking to push up as well. But this is going to be a very hairy one. Ragnarok now quickly taking a knee as the players here from Fate are now back up to 4. The shots continue to fly on in, and Fate need to do something about Evo Station. Either send up another util or, I don't know, just push up, get something done. But of course, also Conquerors just hanging about on the side as Reeves now steps up, sends those utils in. Again, looking to apply the pressure.
Conqueror just like, you guys are fighting. We're going to take so much room in the circle, but now they're going to go for the push. Fate, they're looking for the engage here, DK, on 12-18.
Oh, 12-18. Wow, come on. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Reeves is down. Swave now looking to make this final stand. Oh, picks up Reef. There we go. 1 down. 3 to go. It is Isawi. It is Ragnarok. It is Lath up against Swave. Of course, those utils now coming out from Swave, looking to pick up that damage just to even the scoreboard, even the odds. But this could be the game in which we see Fate step up and clutch that chicken dinner from the hands of Conqueror. Of course, now Swave looking to play the ridge, looking to play the lower ground angle there. And of course, Fate, they're getting ready to move. Once those health bars are up and they are satisfied, we're going to see the aggression coming in already. They start with the push. Here we go. They are starting to push on in. Oh, and it is over. Well done. Fate taking that chicken dinner and doing so beautifully, finishing off there with 12 kills strong.
Hey, very clear way out for Swave in that fight. Very easy way to play that finish. Turn around, run up north, in the blue, die to blue. You're not winning that. You have low ground, you have dips against you, you got a 4-man crew against you in the name of fate, and also they're going for widespread at the very end, which is exactly how you finish those moments, because they see 5 players remaining, they know they got the advantage, they know they can cover as much landmass as they require, and that's why fate, there was literally no way in hell. There's like 99.99999% chance, of course, repeating chance that they're going to be the ones to close off that game in big ways. But still, Conqueror, I think they played it well. I was maybe a little bit doubtful as to how they play that fight versus the likes of especially Slime 4KT in Power Grid. But you know what? I can't argue with results here. They gave themselves a juicy amount of kills along the way, a total of 6, plus that second position, meaning they get 18 points total in this game. I'm happy. Conqueror, definitely that is a step up in my eyes, especially because they started before this game, DK, in 5th position with, I believe that was 86 points. So because Panda died pretty early, they now jump from 5th up into 4th. And I think they might have even overtaken Team Unique. I don't remember how many points Unique got. They got themselves 3 kills. So maybe not enough to overtake Unique, but they might take and snatch away 3rd position at the end here. Conqueror need a banger game 4 back on Erangel.
Yep, 100% agree with you on that. And of course, you know, it was a good finish as well coming in for KT. You know, they finished up in 5th place, so it does good for the team morale. Yes, they weren't able to find kills in that match, but of course, placement points, they still help. They still help to get you up. You know, just bring in those points. And of course, that is what they're playing for as well. So definitely a good run there. But I mean, I gotta say, the utilization, the nades, it was just insane. I mean, and that is what we see coming in from the Arabia region. They are just so accurate with those nades. Quite a lot of them being used again in this map. So I'm curious to see what is going to happen when we head back in on towards Erangel. That, of course, being our final match of the day. Match 4. Everything is going to come down to the final performances here. And I'm pretty excited to see, of course, how that will unfold.
We're going
Hello and welcome back. Here we are, the final match of the day. This is the final show for the teams to bring us that action. Of course, my name is DK. With me is Maxman, and we are excited to see what the final match will bring. Of course, we've got some standings as well to go through to see where the teams are at. So any predictions before I jump into that, Max?
Into the standings, I mean, we know Conqueror definitely stepped up. We checked out the point. I said I thought they were going to be fourth position or third position. Well, we're going to check it out right now. But apparently they took third position, so that was my prediction. But I saw it because I cheated. I literally have it on my left here, so yeah, I can't really predict anything. Yeah, 104 points. The now extra team during the 100-point squad with the likes of Team Unique, 12-18, and Footballist 2. Though the outlier statement we have to make here, of course, DK, is it is literally almost impossible for 12-18, Conqueror, Team Unique to overtake Footballist. So Footballist, you can expect them to be first at the end of this game unless Footballist gets 0 points and 12-18 get the biggest win that I've seen in terms of kills also. They need, what is it, 25 kills? I think that they kill more than a third of the lobby. That's what I'm trying to say here. So Footballist, I'm going to say it, there's 99.99 repeating odds chance of them actually being the champions at the end of this Ometal Pro League. And it's deserved. I think Footballist played some of the best games so far. They've been consistent, especially today, despite not getting wins. Footballist definitely shown that, once again, Turkey has some really, really good teams. So big ups to them.
Yeah, and of course, speaking about good teams, we're going to be looking on towards Erangel to see now, of course, that flight path finding itself up in the north, coming in from just north of Lipovka, heading right through Georgia Ball. So definitely a very northerly flight path, but of course, looking to see where the teams are going to be dropping and how they're going to be adjusting to the zone so far up in the north.
You know what? I haven't done predictions too much. Typically, I do them with my co-caster. I haven't done it too much in this tournament. So I'm going to ask you real quick, DK, and you guys in chat can play too, who you think is going to be taking a win. But which team do you think in this last game will be taking the final chicken dinner of this Ometal Pro League tournament? Which is the one you're going for? 3, 2, 1. Who?
Unique.
I was going to say Unique. Damn. You know what? Fair. Reason why it's so interesting, I think I'm going to explain for both of us here, is that they haven't got a win, right, DK? That's why you're going with it? And they're fourth, sorry.
Yeah. Smack on the money. You're just right on point with that because, yeah, I mean, they deserve a win. They've been so consistent so far, being able to stay up there, coming in with those triple digits, really showing up today in the games, of course. You know, looking to see the chicken dinner. I mean, what would the harm be of them grabbing another chicken, or grabbing a chicken dinner? You know, no harm, no foul. Yeah,
I would say there's pretty big harm, actually. I would say the harm is taking second position away, potentially. So I think there's pretty big harm if they do get themselves a game. Though, here we go. Phase 1 circle. Of course, Solnovka Island not being really in place. You're not going to see the likes of Fate drop in that location. So they're going to go for a secondary drop, which is going to be a big 2-on-1 spread around the likes of Mansion. Rico Infinity versus Destiny is going to be happening once more in the likes of Severny. So that's going to be a very big early fight happening. But here you go, 12-18 and Team Unique. 2 teams in the top side here, DK. Already taking a fight. This is not looking good for 12-18 as he is taking a 1v2 currently.
Yeah, it could be a tough one, but of course we have some reinforcements underway. But Unique stepping it up, picking up the knock, right? So will they now be able to continue on with this role? They're looking to gather that momentum, that pushing. Of course, now here we go. This is what we've been waiting for. This is what we wait to see. Will they be able to wrap it up on 12-18? Oh, there we go. The first hit finding its way on through. And of course, quick way to end it. Klein getting taken out there at the first of Milky Way. But of course, well, that is expected. It's still early phases. There's not a lot of ammo just yet. They want to conserve them just in case they need them.
I feel kind of weird because I noticed so many people that say, oh, shotgun's bad. I love the DBS. I don't know what you think and what your opinion on shotguns. I don't like all shotguns, but the DBS it's got a special place in my heart. I love that weapon. I find it so satisfying when you like just go jump shot, hit that one bullet, instant headshot, and instant death. Pretty cool weapon, but you know what? Also pretty cool push happening so far from Panda as they're going to go on the offensive on the likes of NASR. Currently, Panda standing in 6th. They want to each their way forward toward that top 5 before closing off this first edition of the Ometal Pro League tournament.
Of course, now those utils coming in from Batiga, finding a little bit of damage onto Katsu, but of course now finding quite a bit of damage in the rush away from the compound. Miracle now looking to bring in a miracle here for NASA. It's the last remaining hopeful up against the full squad of Panda. This is really tough odds. And of course, if we see Miracle clutching this out, that will definitely be a PUBG miracle.
PUBG. It do be like that sometimes. Yeah, GK First is one who's going to be leading the way forward. He's going to be that banner man for the team as a miracle. Truly, indeed, going to need a miracle in this one if he wants to try and pull through this time. Lin going to try and get himself access to that smaller ridge top. 12-18 losing an extra player. So they lose 3 players. 12-18. Let's not forget, before this one, they were in second position. Conqueror and Team Unique both behind them by just about 15 points. They might be able to overtake it. Miracle here going to be defending the staircase. I was not really expecting too much. And a body shooting. Don't do that. That's not cool. But you know what? They do it regardless. And that's going to be Panda. 4 kills coming their way. That's a good... we talked about it, right? Not a team that normally does well in early fights. Now they're doing decent. I'm liking that improvement.
And what I'd love to see is that momentum carry on into those late games. I mean, that would be absolutely amazing. We've seen it once before already in these games. Panda did bring in that chicken dinner. But of course, they'd like to see more, right? But not this game. This one, Unique has to be the one that gets the chicken. Of course, you know. Well, that's if the PUBG gods favor them today. We'll find out soon. But of course, now we see the players here from Navi up in North George. It seems to be fairly quiet here. Not a lot of people dropping in. So I'm liking this for Navi. They can casually go about, get their loot ready, get themselves set up before pushing further back up in towards that zone when those rotations are needed.
Yeah, it's a really good position to play for Na'Vi in general. It's not contested. Teams know the Northern George is a Na'Vi drop spot, so they're not going to try and contest it. And the loot there especially is so good. You will very often see teams get themselves all stacked up in tier 3 loot. I'm talking tier 3 helmets. I'm talking tier 3 vests also coming their way. And also some really good top tier weapons. Normally they all got himself an M4. And also normally a DP. I think the Na'Vi, especially Tigsy, is a pretty big DP28 kind of fan. Old Boy 2 didn't have time to see if Old Boy is actually playing this one. I don't think so. I think it's still Kitsune that is playing in this lobby this time around. Yeah, that's Fate. Back to their spread towards the mansion area. They're going to have Isawi into prison itself, but Gonzo's going to jump over. Oh, I thought he was going to jump over for a second. I was like, bro, is he actually going to make the leap of faith? Not. Oh, I think okay. Well, you done messed up now, Gonzo. Okay, no, he's fine. I'll take it back. He's okay. He's dealing. He's going to have the high ground. So he's going to try and move out. He's going to jump out of the car. He's got himself a Thompson. Not great at that kind of range. He goes over to the M16. Nice little few shots coming on through, but nothing will come out of that one-on-one. Having a fun little time here. Already 2 teams eliminated in this lobby. It's been a lot more aggressive than what we have seen so far in the other games. So it seems like it's do or die for a lot of these squads.
Ooh. And of course, now this is what we roll right on up into Fate. Now looking to put a bit of the herd into the side of Kanina. As we can see them now just rotating up alongside each other. And of course, Kanina seems to be heading down in towards the south. But of course, now Ragnarok, he's like, no, hang on a little bit. A little bit of potential fire coming in and looking to find the hits up in towards Gonzo. So what I'm curious to see though is what Fate are going to be doing. They've got a chicken dinner, but they're sitting in 16th place. 42 points to their name. If they maybe bring a game like we saw in the previous one, right on Miramar, things could look better. We could see them moving up a little bit on that leaderboard, maybe to about that middle section.
I could get a little bit more juicy, as XQC likes to say on his streams. Get the juice, and they're going to do just that, hopefully. So, Reef going to try and pop the wheels to make sure that car cannot be used in a way to rotate away from that entire prison position. I like it, though. Kanina Power got the backup just in time in the name of AXA. Really good shot. Wow, actually, that was way better than what I was expecting with that, especially red dot on the M4. Good spray with the extended mag. He's got 40 bullets. I'm ready to take the headshots of everyone. Now, because they got the knock and Axis being so oppressive, that allows a 2-man push from Pioneer and also Nomi to get a little bit closer, eke forward towards Fate, while Gonzo is pushing down below. They're pinning down the entirety of Fate. They can't get the res on Reef just yet. This is an insane 10,000 IQ position and oppressive push from Kanina Power. I'm loving it, DK. This is amazing from the CIS team.
Yeah, this is a really good play coming in. Just the way they're rotating about, picking up head after head.
What?
Oh, Insane stuff, but of course now it is all up to Ragnarok to make that final play, to make that final bit of a rush, and looking to see if he will meet his fate. And it is really sealed up. Looking at how Kanina's moving in, yeah, it's going to be so tough for Ragnarok.
Gets up, gets Nomi. You might want to try and confirm that kill if you have the chance to do so. Get as many points as possible, but doesn't have the chance to do it at the very end. And as the kill confirmed, the kill feed does not light up because that fight was too damn epic. The kill feed was like, what's going on? I have no idea. Kanina Power, once again, DK, that was so well played. Kanina Power, Alga, 1 billion percento. That was the play of this game for sure. It was so clean. It was so simple. But when something is simple, sometimes it's the most effective way around a simple problem. And in that scenario, they're like, we got one player up top. We get the knock. Because we got the man advantage, we push forward. Gonzo creates also extra pressure on the team by pushing from down below, making sure that you are not safe no matter where you are. And the only way to escape would be to jump into prison, and that's a cliff. There's no escape. They know they can't make it away from that position. I could talk about that push the entire day. If I was on PMPL right now, I would do a telestration explaining why that push was so good. And I'm just so impressed by them once again. But hey, man, look at that. They popped the wheel on it. Oh. He's like, man, I got to jump out. I lost my will, mate. And then he sees the McLaren, gets almost rolled over. Nice push from Navi. That was nice. I love that, DK. That's fun. Man, thank you.
Yeah. That was quite entertaining to watch. You got to give it to Navi. That was a beautiful set of play in there. A great utilization of a McLaren, you know? Like, when on the grass, just run over people.
McLaren
but of course now,
meta.
Yeah. But now we're looking to see what is going to be happening in the center zone. Of course, the blue zone is making its way on through, and well, we'll see where it's going to pop up into once this circle decides to leave us. Come on, circle, you can do it. But of course, it's definitely looking pretty tight there with the players from New Rau, and of course, Guns right there alongside the players, of course, coming in from Conqueror, and even we have World of Wonders right there.
Yeah, World of Wonders could be looking pretty good. You are expecting the center circle to be in the next phase. Well, it's not. I'm expecting. There's a 100% chance of that being the case. I like where currently next Ruyak currently stand is Potato Hill. It's a big spread. It could get contested by Guns if the circle tends to go over to the west. That could be something to try and bite them back in the butt later on down the line. But man, we're not getting a circle, man. It's Ekin is like, hey, you're not getting it. You think you're gonna get circle? Hey, you're not getting phase 2. No. Hopefully we'll be coming up. Once again, apologies for the little delay, ladies and gents. Twitch do be having some issues over there in South Africa, apparently. The positions I find pretty interesting is Pseudo, Destiny, and also Na'Vi. There's a big fight happening towards the more northern side of Rosok itself. Could be causing the demise of a few of the teams. Though 12-18 down to only one player to Liquor. He is literally playing this game here, DK. Survival of... I mean, not even survival of the fittest. He's just playing the survivalist. As simple as that. He wants to stay in the game as long as possible, get positioning points, maybe steal a few kills left and right and center to make sure both Conqueror and Team Unique do not overtake that position, especially because of how many kills Unique got. They got himself 3 kills on 12-18. They are just about 10 to 15 points behind them. One big game from Unique, and now 12-18 dropping out of that top 2.
Well, I mean, that is definitely something that is doable. I mean, and it like I've said before, it is so close now. I mean, looking at the point distribution coming in between 3rd, 4th, it is so close. Either Conqueror or Unique, as you say, could make that jump and move 12-18 down 1 slot. Maybe even 2, depending on how they go through this game. But Guns, they're also right there in the contention. Don't forget about them just yet.
Yeah, we don't want to forget about them just yet, though. We'll see. I think it's time for us to try and get it back to our face cams real quick so we can have a quick little refresh on the Twitch page to make sure the game hopefully goes on through. Once again, apologies. You're not going to miss too much, hopefully. It's still very early in the game, so we should be getting back into the nitty-gritty of it all. But I like these few rotations we saw coming on through. I think we had some interesting early fights too coming up from a lot of these squads, and it's really close for a lot of them. Teams tend to go a lot more aggressive now, which I'm liking, because you need big major shifts of how you play the game, especially in those finishing moments, to make sure you have a chance at getting extra positions. Even though they are not prize born like PMPO in every single slot, you want to be in top 3 to get that big damn money at the end. DK, are we back into it? We are back into it, DK, and we got some action happening, man, just in time. Perfect timing. Let's go.
Yeah, here we are, right into the fight. Of course, you can see fights breaking out on both sides of the screen. One in the bottom, one on the top. But of course, now we're looking at the footballers and of course, conquerors. Right up in the business there with World of Wonders. Applying quite a bit of pressure. And of course, now enjoy looking. It's a kind of push on in Azzy, just on the opposite end. They're looking for good play, looking for a good angle, but of course has the knock following through. This is where the pressure is on now. Reeves, the last remaining player there for the Conqueror team. Gets picked up by Recent. Beautiful play. Great performance there from World of Wonders, just holding their angle so aggressively.
It was a really good play, especially Son HB really surprised me in how he played those little jump shots around the wall. It did make that fight go in very, very easy mode for themselves. A nice little clear and 4 kills come into their name. Especially because when you look out the overall rankings, I don't have it right now. Let me open it. Overall rankings for World of Wonders. They were standing before this one in 12th position with a total of 54 points. Not too good, unfortunately, for the Turkish squad, so we were hoping for a little bit more from them, especially because they were a team that made a big splash back in the MEA League tournament at the end of 2020. So, want to see a little bit more coming out from these guys eventually. Circle, though, we talked about, especially next Rhea playing on Potato Hill. I think this is a really good position to hold on to. We didn't quite see where the Phase 2 circle went. We're about to go into Phase 3, so we're going to be leapfrogging an entire circle shift here, DK. So we're basically going straight into the future, which, hey, I'm not against. I like it. It's quick. It's snappy. It's cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, welcome to the new edition of PUBG. But now, as we look over to that zone, we can see, of course,
3.0.
yeah, it has sent it up pretty close to school, just on the hills on the side there. But of course, now we look to see where the next phase is going to be going. Unique, still making their rotations up from the south now, looking to find a good point up in towards the zone. But it heads over to the west. Footballers Destiny and Navi already just there up in that northeastern side. It is going to be pretty contested.
Yeah, Panda must be feeling bad because they are out of the lobby here and they could have just stuck to school apartment and they would have been completely fine. Though, this is redemption arc for Tulika. Well, not even just for Tulika, for the entirety of 12-18. He's got the circle coming his way. He does not have to fight for position. He does not have to look for rotation. He can just stay put, chill out over to the west, very close up north of Pachinki, and get extra positioning points. And we talked about it. As long as they get a minimum, I would clearly say, of 4, 5, 6 points, that would be second position somewhat safe, a lot more safe and secure for 12-18. So they need to make sure Tulika stays up and running. Though back over to Potato Hill, that's going to be the action. Kanina Power going to just go and sandwich up right in between the likes of Nextria and also Guns, but it seems like Kanina Power don't encounter any issues in that rotation, so they're just going to keep on zooming forward straight into the circle to find a strong spot to play from.
Oh, the hits now starting to find their way through. As you can see, of course, the players there from Nextria, they were taking aim onto the side of Kanina Power, but here we go, Pioneer getting caught in the crossfire as Raouf sends the hurt on through. Of course, now Guns having Freak knocked out in the process. Navi just behind them, looking to pick up a bit of damage. But of course, now we also have the players from 4KT moving up into the apartments. So we could see the third-party squad coming in from this angle.
There's a chance of that maybe happening for them. Though Na'Vi losing both Tiggsy and Meku very early on. Seemed like it's been happening. It's been on and off for Na'Vi throughout the day. Back one over there, get himself an UAV, as maybe not recommended, because Sinet peeking a little bit too long with that DP28. Also, Son HP did just pan Frozen X apparently, and that was not a kill confirmed. That was a knock. That was a knock with a pan. I don't know if he threw it. I don't know if he just went to just bonk him on the head, but apparently that happened. So I would love to see a replay. Niat's getting rolled. What's happening in the kill feed? Everyone's getting rolled over. I'm seeing some pan kills and knocks coming on through. People dropping to their death. This kill feed's wild today. What? You guys need to chill out a little bit there. This is wild.
Oh, beautiful shot coming in from Aimer. Great timing on that shot, but of course now looking to find a few more. Good lord, right there up on the top side. As you can see, Amodi also keeping a very watchful eye, watchful angle down on towards 4KT. Freak now just feeling a little bit of pressure there as the shots come through from Navi. They're just reminding them, you know, that there are more than one team. There is more than one team in the vicinity. And of course now, Kisune now looking to find the heads up in towards Lord. But a slow, steady tap. Because once you start really spraying at that distance, it becomes pretty difficult with the DP28.
It can get a little bit hard to try and hit those. Like, I couldn't hit those, so I can tell you as a fact, yes, it is pretty hard to play around. Ralph going to be trying to maybe create a little bit of a car for wherever he shall go. Going to try and eke his way closer and closer to the likes of Potato Hill, which I like it. Finds a few more cars. Team Unique is going to be on the receiving end of that rotation, so he's got to be careful. Looting up also. We're about to now go towards phase 4, guys. Once again, if you joined the stream late, you missed so many good games here in the Ometal Pro League tournament. Some great performances back and forth from a lot of these squads. Some of the best teams, well, not even some, but the best teams in the MENA region in general, encountering Arabia, CIS, Turkey, Europe, and also South Africa. Big step-ups from a lot of these guys as the circle shifts back up north, man. These shifts, very clearly, DK, have been horrendous for all of these teams. Hard shift after hard shift after hard shift. Rozok is now in play, making Panda even more salty watching this game from the lobby.
And this is typical Erangel zones, just being brutal AF. But of course, I like the position coming in there from Footballers Lutz. Moving just onto the side. But now, Kanina Power trying to make that rotation. Of course, Unique just hugging the edge of the zone. Looking to play this as best they can. And of course, looking to utilize on the position up in those hot headshot hills. Of course, now the zone has sent it up on towards Rozok, so that is why we see guns now just tally-hoing their way on over towards Rozok, looking to find a good setup before the rest of the teams all started rushing in.
Yeah, I like this, Ralph, and the rest of guns are going to go straight for the tippity top of the mountain here towards the southern side of Rozok. But, oh, Gonzo, he wants more. He wants an absolute bloodfest over here on the eastern side of Rozok. Going for Kitsune, and also the other side is going to be Matic. Really good defense coming in from that window position. He's going to create himself a really good position and opportunity for his team to take control of this more eastern edge. Though eking their way forward is going to be World of Wonders. Zessi also with a mini 14 clapping cheeks his own way. 9 teams in this one. We're closing it up very closely to end today. Kanina Power in 7th position before this game. They still have a very clear chance of being able to make it, even maybe potentially make it in top 3. They need an absolute banger game. I'm even going to say they need minimum a 3rd position, and if they want to have a chance to make it last second in the top 3, they're even going to need a win. Unfortunately, already losing some players early game. Kanina Power are not looking comfortable when it comes to securing a chicken dinner on this final game.
It is going to be a pretty tough finish coming in for the teams here. But of course, as we can see, Guns taking quite a bit of damage. Navi just playing this compound. But we've seen Matic and Katsuna. We've seen the duo plays come in from Navi over several of these games here today. So we know that Navi is able to hold their own against whoever is up ahead of them. But of course now, Teluka in a bit of a tricky position as this blue zone is just slowly tickling away at the health there. And Maxman is raiding us. Might that be the final song for 12-18?
Oh. I thought they saw him and they were going to rush him into blue. I was like, please don't do it, Team Unique. They want to finish their job, apparently. Teluka's just going to zoom his way forward, man. You got to get some epic music there. Da, 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 da. I don't know, man. I can't do music properly. But hey, man, he's doing a little bit of exercise. That's cool. He's losing weight. He's trying to work out. I enjoy it. But oh my god, these circles are horrible. Stop it, game, please. Those mobile gods are they're hungry for blood today. Apparently, this is horrendous. But World of Wonders, Footballist, and also the likes of Slime Forchetti going to be in circles. So I don't know why I took a Mario voice there. That was weird. But regardless, they are looking absolutely golden. And Navi going to try and full send it forward towards the score position. Katsune is going to be taking a big fat L as he tries to encounter the side of Footballist. This is, as I said, this is so hard to play around. Tolika, though, getting really close to a few of the players of Team Unique. Might get a few kills left and right, but he's only got 15 bandages, so he can't stay in the blue zone any longer.
Yeah, I just saw one of the Guns players there, Hamori. He is so low on health. He was sitting on 1 or 2 HP. Absolutely insane. But now we see Unique looking to find a good position in the zone as they move up in towards school. We've got the players from the Footballers right alongside them, and of course the team there from a World of Wonders just positioned a little bit further up onto the northern side of the zone. But now just coming in with the hits. It is a little bit of a glitch.
I was about to say, why is that? I was like, why is that not hitting him? Like, there must be a terrain. I was like, okay, yeah, there's definitely some terrain. I was like, wait, what's going on right there? But yeah, there was some terrain that was not rendering in distance, unfortunately, for them. Did we see Tulika? Oh, no, he's still there. He's still running. He's still zooming his way forward. He's got to run towards score, though. And Team Unique, they got control of the swimming pool gym, or gym, swimming pool, whatever you want to call it, regardless, still holding that spot, which is going to make it really hard for Talika to get closer to the next circle. So this is not looking too comfortable. Guns, though, here, DK, this is going to be the team that's struggling the most to actually make their way inside. So by Footballist, there's no way they make it out.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Machina bringing in a spray like that, it is going to be exceptionally difficult. And of course, Tulika not being able to Forest Gump it all the way back up in towards zone, but definitely a valiant effort coming in there. But now we see the teams moving into school. Moving in, looking to try and defend. And of course, now the footballers, Raum, just looking to make that play. We got Lats also there, just to provide that extra additional bit of support. But Unique now also looking over towards Guns. And as you've said, Guns having a really tough time to gain a good entry in towards the zone. But that zone now once again shifting even further up in towards the north. This could be the downfall of Guns if they are not able to get out of the spot.
Yeah, Guns, they need to get himself a potential good performance here because they're currently in 5th spot. They can make it to top 3, but they need an absolute banger coming their way. And with the circle moving away, Footballists not willing to give up this northern side of score because they want to try and get as many kills as possible. They know they're in first position. They know they're extremely comfortable. So every extra kill is solidifying that first spot every time more and more. So, Unique going to try and wrap around. They're going to try and play spoilers on potentially both Footballist and the likes of Guns. Guns are getting himself inside a car. I thought they were for a second there, but not going to happen. Slime 4KT having a real hard time and hard moment actually to cross over the road to move away from apartments. And that, I believe, is causing them so many issues. I think that's dead actually for Slime 4KT. I don't see them anymore on the menu app, so I think that's GG for the African team.
Yeah, I think it is a rip for them. But of course, what a performance that was coming in from Destiny. Making it so difficult. And of course, now Raum coming in with a spray. Looking to pick up the confirms on towards Rauf and Hamodi. But Lord, looking to survive. Now, he see Milky Way venturing a little bit further out. But this is where things are going to get interesting as the blue zone is now starting to close on up. The shots fly through. Guns get picked up. And now, Unique still trying to rush up into the zone. Footballers are going to try and make it so difficult for them. And of course, with the addition of World of Wonders just up ahead, it is going to be so tough. But here we go now. Raum steps up, finds a beautiful spray. Would he get the last one? He just misses it.
Oh my god, Rom, that was amazing. Right through the gates, right through those little nook and crannies. Those openings were golden for him, and they clear out the entirety of Team Unique. 8 kills to the name of Footballist. The Turkish team is absolutely shredding the competition in this final game here of the Ometal Pro League tournament. But now Destiny, their nade range, and that's an amazing connects instantly. Ba-boom! Goes Rom, but luckily Lutz, his teammate, is nearby and will be able to make that res come on through. World of Wonders still got himself an amazing spread to play through. A 2-1 spread across 2 sides of the road, confirming they got 100% ownership of whatever kind of rotation they have to execute later on down the line.
Well, that was absolutely amazing stuff coming in. But now we move in as that blue zone is about to start closing up. We've got 25 seconds or so remaining on the clock, and it is going to be absolutely brutal as the teams are going to push on in. You can see already footballers trying to get themselves set up. But we've got Gonzo just lying up ahead of them, keeping his eyes trained on this position. And I won't be surprised if we see those shots come through. But of course, now Raum looking to get some retaliation, looking to repay the favor back on towards Destiny as Nashi and Mihi now looking to make their play, trying to get ahead of that blue zone. Mihi now getting picked up in the process. Nashi now left to rotate up, comes in with a vehicle, a little bit of an aggressive push, looking to get the knock, but Footballers says no, you shall not pass, and down he goes. Of course, Destiny getting devoured by the blue zone in the process, but here we go. Footballers making the dash up into that zone, looking to gain a good entry, but taking quite a bit of damage. World of Wonders now steps up. Down they go. The final play. Gonzo comes in, looking to get it. Of course, now Sun coming in with a spray as well. Will he pick it up? Yes, he does. What a beautiful finish that was. Wow.
I really thought Gonzo was going to be able to clutch it 1v2 at the very end. That would have been an insane way to close off that game. And I do think World of Wonders were thinking there was a heal-off happening because they never cleared that small little lip, that small little ridge line. They never checked it out. They never cleared it. And because of that, Gonzo was made unchecked for a big portion of that late game stage, able to get himself 3 kills. What a step up from Kanina Power. And we said it before this game, Kanina Power were in 7th position, having a chance to make it towards that top 3. Will this game be enough, though? I'm not sure. But another top 3 coming the way of Footballists. Extreme consistency coming out from them, especially Raw very clearly here, I would say, DK, being the step-up rising star of Footballists in this game alone. And they've done it. Footballists will be your Ometal Pro League champions in this tournament after the course of a big amount of games, 12 games total, and being number 1. Footballists showing once again that Turkey has some of the best talent PUBG Mobile in the European region has to offer.
Yeah, I gotta say, that was absolutely phenomenal stuff on the back of the players there from Footballists. Just how they handled those final few pushes, making their way on through. Wow, that was really just beautiful to watch. I mean, yeah, it is sad that they didn't get the chicken dinner, but what a push, though. I mean, but we got to give it to World of Wonders as well. That was a wonderful play. It was amazingly executed, and they played their position phenomenally.
I think that's one of the strengths of World of Wonders, and we saw especially back on that Miramar game on game 3, where they had a big 2-2 spread on 2 very polar opposite positions in one of those late game circles. I think it was phase 5 or 6. And they had 2 players over to the west and 2 players over to the east. Boom, circle shifts. They have already half of their team inside the circle. Literally 5 to 10 seconds after that circle shift, they're already in the buggies, in the UAVs, and already trying to pull off those rotations. So I think that's one of the strengths and almost, I would say, DK specialities from World of Wonders is those spreads to facilitate further on rotations in the case you have a really hard shift, which this game, I would say, a lot of very, very ugly shifts in terms of circles coming on through. Not fun to play around, but because of that playstyle, it facilitates how you deal with those circle threats. And World of Wonders, amazing. I think that they have been a clear dark horse for most of the tournaments I've seen them play in. Though, can they move up from dark horse over to one of the top dogs? That's why I want to see it as we transition. Oh, weird word. Transition. There you go. From these kind of tournaments and scrims into the actual PMPL EMEA Championship Season 1. That's what I'm expecting from the side of World of Wonders.
Yeah, I can tell you already, just looking at what we've been seeing over these past 3 days, how the teams have been handling themselves, how they've been coping with the pressures. It is going to be such an amazing performance to see all these teams going head to head, bringing their A game, bringing what they are good at. I mean, and if we see that consistency coming in from World of Wonders, you know, those rotations, those positional plays, it will really work out in their favor. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be smiling all the way to the bank.
You know what? I do have to say, though, we've got the overall rankings down here. So I don't know if you want to try and get it for a second and so we can show it over to the viewers at home because we want to check it out. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Not only is this Footballist taking number 1, they take number 1 here, DK, by an absolute landslide. 60-point lead on 2nd position. You would see that pretty often, right? In the likes of PMPLs or tournaments that are pretty long, you know, a month, 3 weeks. That is not too out of the ordinary. They got a 60-point lead on 2nd place with 3 wins over the course of 12 games. Over the course of 12 I'm going to say that again. Over the course of 12 games, they got a 60-point lead. That is not an advantage. That is a slap to the face to the rest of the lobby that Footballists are just that good of a squad. And it's surprising because Footballists has always proven that they're such a strong team. And yet when you put them on tournaments where it really, like, it matters here because it's an actual tournament, it's not scrims. But I'm talking PMGC, I'm talking back to the EMEA League too. They tend to struggle when it matters the most. And that is why I'm saying here, Footballist, I want to see these guys play like this in the PMPL. If they can do so, they could very, very clearly represent Turkey and be number 1 at the end of the PMPL EMEA Championship.
Yeah, I agree. If they can continue with this consistency all the way through in towards the EMAs, it is going to be absolutely fantastic stuff for them. But of course, looking to see what they'll be able to do. Just looking at the amount of points they are ahead, as you pointed out, they're being 60, right? That brings us down to about an average of 5 points per match that they were ahead. That's just insane.
Yeah, it's an insane one. Though we got to talk about the other teams and you know, give a lot of respect to some of the squads. 12-18, thanks to Tulika, able to just clearly hold on to that second position. And Unique, despite a really strong attempt, I would say the circle shifts has not been very kind to these guys, and Unique were not able to hold on. We're not able to snatch away, should I say, that spot. But it doesn't matter because before this game, Unique were in fourth, right behind Canina Power. Canina Power, sorry, what am I saying? Canina Power, sorry. Behind Conqueror, actually. I didn't not expect Conqueror to drop down that much. Conqueror were in third, and now they're in fifth, and Team Unique actually able to overtake that one extra position. Big step up from Unique at that finishing moment. Conqueror, unfortunately for them, not quite what we were hoping for in the finishing moments, and Canina Power still being really consistent, but especially Unique, Canina Power, third and fourth respectively, without a single win is a big mention in my book. So I want to see them not only remain and retain this consistency in the PMPL, but I want to see them being able to find some wins, because that's where the true points are at the end.
Yeah. Really, really amazing play coming in. But what I like about this is this gives the teams a good idea of kind of what to potentially be expecting, right? As you've said before, you know, some of the teams might be holding back. They don't want to give away the secrets just yet, right? They want to keep it a surprise and have that element, you know, to make use of. So, but in general, I think this was still a really good play across the board coming in from the teams. And of course, now I'm really keen to see what is going to be happening when they make that move up in towards EMA. So, yeah, there we go. That is our standings, of course. Absolutely fantastic stuff. And well done to footballers team 12-18, as well as the players there from Unique. In fact, everyone here, well done. Really good show. Really entertaining games that we had. All 12 of them were entertaining. So even though we didn't see the first 4 on broadcast, it was still pretty amazing stuff. Of course, that is going to be bringing us to the end here for today. I want to give a big shout out to everyone that tuned in to watch. Big shout out to all the teams, and of course, big shout out to you, Max. Thank you so much for being my co-host here today over these past 3 days. In fact, it was absolutely amazing. Had such a blast, and of course, yeah, I'm kind of low-key jealous.
Lucky jealous. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you lucky jealous?
No, because I mean, like, they're gonna go on to EMA, they're gonna play, and I want to see, I want to sit and cast and stuff. This could be so amazing to go through, you know.
You could do a viewer party. Hey man, I'm sure
Yeah,
some people will be
ooh.
down for that. A little viewer party with some of the South African boys, you know, like Mamba and everyone from Slime 4KT. I'm sure they'll be down. Hey, well, we've got to try and get you involved in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, real quick, once again, also, not only thank you to you guys at home and DK for allowing this to become a reality, but also thank you very much to the entire Ometal team that's been able to set up this tournament with some great spectating and some really good production value. For a community-run tournament, that is not super easy to do, so that does deserve a little bit of a tip of the hat. And also, congratulations and thank you very much to the entire also Arabic broadcast crew that has been able to put on the show for you guys on the other side of this stream. So I'm sure they've been and making absolute banger content as always. And yeah, that's going to be it for us today. But once again, congrats to footballists. They absolutely shredded the competition in these 3-day tournaments.